it going? Welcome to the Genre of Your Life podcast, a show all about movies, TV, and the entertainment that defines us. I am one of your hosts, Doug Jones. With me, as always, are two of my best friends and two of the best co-hosts ever. Starting with Mr. Nick Johnson. How are you today, my good sir?
What up? I'm doing good. How are y'all doing today?
Oh, man, I am happy to be back with you boys, man. I missed you guys. It's been a sad couple of weeks because it's been so busy with life and Halloween parties, people visiting and family events, but we are back, man. I missed you guys. We are back, ready to go.
Hell yeah.
And last but not least, Mr. Chi-Town himself, Mr. Joel Kindlen. How are you today, my good sir?
I'm good, man. Glad to be back.
Glad to be back. Yes, sir, man. We missed you guys. I put out a bonus review last week, so I had to do it for a movie I saw for the holdovers, and my review was kind of funny because I wasn't feeling that great. My allergies were kicking in, and all you hear was, "Hey guys, this is Doug Jones. How are you?" Like my voice sounded so my voice sounded like weird, very weird, and I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I edited it. I was like, my voice sounds okay, but you know what? I got to put it out there. But yes, we are back. I missed you guys. Hope you missed us. The show is back, and we are ready to go into full entertainment mode with you all. But as always, guys, you can find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, or your favorite podcast platform of choice. While you're there, we have a full audio show on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions. Whether on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, whatever, hit that follow button, hit the subscribe button, leave a review, leave a rating. It helps us out so much. You know, the more feedback we get and the more reviews we get on the show, it helps us, kind of keep making the show for you guys, but also, gives us a lot of recognition from our peers as well as kind of just like building the show more and more, getting more audience. It'll be a year come next week, which is crazy doing the show. It feels like almost a few months if you ask me, but hard to believe. But thank you guys so much for your ongoing support. It means the world to us. But like I said, don't forget to hit that follow button, leave a review, leave a rating. It means the world to us, guys. But always, thank you so much for your ongoing support. It means the world to us. And boys, I can't thank you guys enough too. Like I said, it'll be a year come next week, which is crazy. The other day at the
That's insane, man.
Isn't that crazy, man?
It does not feel like it's been a year. Like you said, it feels like it's been like maybe like a couple of months, man. Like,
oh, totally,
damn, this time
dude.
is just flown by,
dude.
Blue.
And you said it perfectly, Nick. I hope you don't mind repeating this on the air, but like when we were at the Five Nights at Freddy's screening, you were like, damn, bro, look at us, man. We're in the fucking press list, man. We're in the fucking press seats, man. Look at us. A year ago, we were like, man, like it would be so cool to get in the press list, to be on the scene with the critics, man. And lucky enough, you and I have that pleasure. We're still working on Joe, obviously, and Moses. But
yes, indeed. You know, it's crazy too, because I remember because we met freshman year, right? And I remember I was with some other friends. Yeah. Like we had this little YouTube channel, and without getting too much into it, it was very amateur to say the least. You know what I mean? Like it's not the quality filmmaking that we're doing now. So it's like to go from that to like basically shitty YouTube videos to being an award-winning filmmaker to being on the press list and being able to see all these advanced screenings and everything like that. Like it's amazing. Like it's like, wow. I'm extremely grateful for all of it, and it's like extremely humbling at the same time. And it's like, wow, it's wild to think about.
Oh, totally, dude. I was telling this to you at the screening too, and Joel knows as well. Like, there's been so many times where, like, in high school, me and Joel be at our local AMC River East 21. We're like, that movie was crazy, man. How do you feel about it, man? Actually, it was kind of funny. That part didn't work for me. Like, we had all those conversations. Then I went to college. I met you, and I met Moses. I met Malone and Julia. Everybody. It was like same thing. We go to the local AMC, local Harkins for the screenings, whatever. We're like, how'd you feel about this part? Oh, this part was kind of cool. And those like kind of like parking lot like exit conversations like really kind of inspired the show, because I feel like what you and I saw a lot in college, what Joe and I see all the time, like we were growing up, like those conversations really kind of like inspired this podcast. And I think it's like I've been really kind of vocal about that, like those conversations and our love for film, TV, entertainment, also our kind of distaste for things that we don't care about either, also kind of inspired, kind of shaped the show for what it is. And But you're right, man. When I was sitting there with you at the Five Nights at Freddy's screening, I was like, man, this is like crazy. Because a year ago we did our first Black Adam reaction, and I was like, man, like a year from now, man, it would be so cool to be on the press list for at least one or two studios. And luckily enough, man, we really kind of like had a lot of love from you all, the audience and the viewers. But man, it was a fun journey of that first year, kind of building the show with you boys and kind of like seeing what it was. And obviously, we need to get Joe on this press list too, man, because Joe was part of the show as well. You know, he's one of those founding fathers and co-hosts. But
oh yeah,
but
Black Adam, damn.
That's crazy, dude. We had our first. I was so nervous. Also, I didn't know shit about editing and sound editing and React and stuff. And I was like, "We're gonna do one. It's our first YouTube video. Fuck it, let's go." And that's so funny because the other day too, I was looking at our playback for our videos, and our most played videos is Joel's video of the reaction of the Flash because it was his pretty face for once. But what's funny is that our first video for Black Adam was like, I don't know, like 20 views. And to me, it's kind of funny that our most viewed video is Expendables 4 for some reason. I don't know why, but our reaction to that movie
is pretty wild.
And like, because you're on the show as well, the last few episodes of how that got our take 3 of that reaction, but it's like 18,000 views and counting, and I'm like, wait, why is this our most viewed reaction out of our entire like Indiana Jones, Flash? We saw, all these movies, Exorcist, Five Nights at Freddy's, all these movies, and I'm like, Oppenheimer, everything. I'm just like, our most viewed one is literally Expendables 4. For I was like, what? But again, I think on TikTok and YouTube, that's one of our most videos. Then it goes Indiana Jones, then Joel's video of the Flash, which was a big hit. But yeah, man, it's very humbling. You're right, it's very humbling, but also it's kind of just like, wow, man, like look how far we've come this year. We're still growing. We're still trying to get on other, lists as well as, I won't go into detail about that story, but we're still trying to like expand the show everywhere from Chicago to Arizona to LA to anywhere. But seriously, you guys, Joe, Moses, man, you guys, Nick, you guys have really made the show what it is. And I had this idea during COVID so many times. I'm like, man, one day we should do this. One day we should do this. I'm like, we'll wait on it for sure. And it wasn't until I was in between jobs a year ago where I was like, man, I can only do the show if Nick says yes, Joel says yes, Mo says yes. And you guys really made this show special. And for that, I thank you guys, because like this has been like really like an honor for me, and also one of the best parts of my life this past couple of years doing the show with you guys and kind of like building this brand with you guys. So I want to thank you guys on air, and thank you guys so much for it's like making the show special.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. You about to get me emotional over here, man. Thanks for getting me a part of this, man. Like I really appreciate that. Because I love doing it too. It's fun just being able to hang out with y'all and talk with y'all. And I was going through kind of like a rough time a little bit ago. I know I had like skipped a lot of them, but once I started like coming on and everything like that, I feel like it kind of helped me get past all of that shit. So it's like it's like I'm grateful to just to be a part of this, just to be here, man. I love it, and I love you guys. So thank you.
Wow, we love you too, man. And Joe, again, Nick, you've been my main man since day one of college. But you and Joe knows this too. Like Joel and I like have seen like literally in high school growing up. Joel knows this too. Like we saw every movie, Joe, no matter what it was, no matter if it was a really bad Adam Sandler movie, a weird comedy, a really bad movie called Lucy. Like Joel and I saw everything. We're like, you know what? We're gonna see it. And that to me has been a big part of the show, is because like, I'm not in the same state anymore, not in the same area, zip code anymore, or same kind of like region of the country. But Joel and I would go to movies, no matter what it was. We saw shit again. Lucy. Come on, Joe. Chirac. Like we saw literally everything.
Every weekend, we would go to movie theaters, and that was like my favorite thing. Because like I would look forward when we were gonna go see a movie, because it's dope hanging out and everything, but like our friend group is it was interesting as hell, I'll tell you that. Chaotic, but like when we went to go see a movie, it was always fun, especially when it was just me and Doug. We would go
Hmm.
to any like movie theater we had to go see a movie or pre-screening, and I had such a blast doing that. And sorry, my nose is bleeding. I had
You
such
good,
a
bro?
great time. Yeah, I'm good. It's just weather change is what
Hmm.
causes my
I
nosebleed
was about to
every
say
year.
you probably dehydrated. You need some water.
Oh, I
You need
drink a
some
lot of
milk.
water. It's just weather change, and it doesn't help that I have
That,
turtles, so my room is constantly
I see what you
warm,
mean.
but the outside is cold. And
your nose bleeding because you always on that damn phone.
No, it's
yep,
Stranger Things, man. Friends don't lie.
yeah, exactly. But I always look forward to it. Like life is honestly like life has been very difficult for me. I'm not gonna get into details, but there's a lot of difficulties through life, and Doug knows all of them. And I've always enjoyed it. It was always fun. Like if I ever went to a movie without Doug, I'd hit him up, be like, "Bro, it was such a great movie, but I wish you were there," because
Yeah,
we would
dude.
commentate during the movie. Like we're not loud. Like we'd whisper, or nudge each other and then whisper and like say something, and it's fucking funnier than what the fucking movie was. It made the movie so enjoyable. So, Doug has been in, you guys stole Doug from me for in AZ. Thank God, though. I don't want him here.
I
In a
appreciate
good
that.
way. In a good way. Yeah, it's all love.
No, for
uh,
real.
yeah, we always talked about getting out of Chicago, so I was proud of him for doing it. But I don't go to movies much, or when I do, it's like with other people, and I still always get that feeling of like, damn, I wish that because I could commentate. Like I commentate with some people, and it's just like you're not understanding what I'm like the joke I'm saying, or like it's just not. It's not Doug. So to be able to do this, and talk about the movies and make the same jokes, and have someone else have two other people as well that understands the jokes and understands where we're coming from, but also throws in a different perspectives from what me and Doug see, or from what I see, is always so great, because I do truly love you know eh, people's views on movies, even if we disagree, because it's so dope, to get those different perspectives and to understand that, you don't gotta take it so seriously. Like me and Doug have had conversations with people that it got a little too personal. We're just like, it's not that deep, you
It's a
know.
fucking movie.
Uh, yeah, like we love movies, but you don't gotta yell at me, my guy. Uh, so Nick, I'm glad you're a part of this, and I'm glad that Doug, you started this. I don't think I would have done this on my own. So
Nah,
to be
dude.
a part of this and to see, not only like a lot of people enjoy it and like listen every week and follow us and all that, but to see that people truly do love it, and to you know myself enjoy as well, and to hear the praise from people telling us it's good, or like your mom said, I have a really good radio voice.
Dude,
Which is
it's
a
she
compliment
praised
I
all
never
you
thought
guys,
I'd get.
man.
So, yeah, thank you so much, Mama Jones. And like having my own family listen to this is crazy. I know I told my family about it. I didn't think they'd listen, but they are, so it's like crazy. I got friends who listen, and it's crazy. But it's so awesome. So honestly, Doug, I'm so much more thankful for you inviting me to be here, and I'm so glad I got to become friends with Nick in person, and we got to do this with you as well. I think you add that flavor to it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of flavor in this, but more. So yeah, thank y'all both for being so awesome.
Nah, so you guys, no, thank you, Joe. I appreciate you saying that. And before going our main topics, this is true story, Nick. I'll tell you this. Like literally before I moved to AZ, like I want to say the week before I moved here to Arizona, like me and Joe were like, all right, if I see a movie at 12:30, you'll see at 10:30. We'll just FaceTime during that movie because we were like, it was so weird for Joe and I to be like, yo, we can't like because we saw everything together no matter what it was, and so we're like planning our like same time, like all right, if this movie starts at 1:30 in Chicago. It'll be 11:30 in AZ. We'll go to the same show time, 2 hours apart, and we legit were planning that for like a while too. It was so funny. I was like, all right, if you and TD see the movie at this time, I'll see it this time my Arizona time. We'll be the same time, same trailers, same theater, whatever. And I think that once, and it was like, all right, it's kind of hard to coordinate. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, but
We got close once, but then we found out
so
like
close.
yeah, it was so close, but we
We
were
were
like,
so
"Fuck!"
close.
I think you were, I think me and I think I was an hour ahead. Like my movie was an
Yes,
hour ahead, so
we
I
were
was like,
so
"Fuck!"
close. We were so close.
So yeah, so me and him called afterwards, but we were like, "Oh, it's fine. We tried our
We were so
best."
close, dude. We were so like coordinating that shit too. We were like, "Fuck, this is crazy." But nah, dude, that to me, like, and the show would not be what it is for you guys. I know most hops in when he can, Mister LA, Mister Hollywood. But no, guys, it's really been an honor, and having the show with you guys, sharing the show with you guys has been really like the biggest like thing I'm thankful for, and like sharing this with people that I love and I care for. It also just been very just like hardworking like you guys are is very supportive and also just very like you're in this, man. I see shows all the time where you can tell the co-hosts are kind of like, yeah, it's whatever, it's fine, it's just another show. But like I tell the passion is there from you guys and you're loving it too. So thank you guys for what you do. And the show would not be for what it is without you guys. So again, many more to come, man. This is only the beginning. We're a year in next week. We have many years to come with the show. We're just getting started, man. This is the very, very beginning.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Alrighty, with that all said and done, Nick, my friend. So I reviewed Five Nights at Freddy's last week on a bonus episode because I was kind of sick, and I was like, I owe them a review. I'll put it out for everybody. So they heard our reaction. What's your kind of again? So you and I saw a few weeks ago. It did really well opening weekend, like 80 mil. And I think you and I were kind of like, well, Peacock too. It made money, bro. It made money, bro. And I mentioned this on on my review roundup episode I did a week ago. I was saying that you and I were seeing with the press, obviously, but the people that were there, that was a huge press. That was a huge turnout. And Joe,
It was a big one.
Joe, get this crazy, bro. They turned away 200 people from the screening. How crazy it was. Dude, we walked in. Him and I walked in, and we're good to go because we're press. And we walked in. I was like, "Holy shit, dude!" There was like lines out the theater for this. I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, because Five Nights at Freddy's, like people hear about it all the time, but Five Nights at Freddy's does have like a cult following. Every game that comes out for Five Nights at Freddy's is insane. I follow it a tiny bit because of Markiplier. I love watching Markiplier, who originally was supposed to be in the movie, but because of scheduling difficulties, he couldn't do it. But he'll be in the next one.
Wow, yeah, it's got a sequel guaranteed. But like I said, so they heard our reaction, they heard my review. Nick, what did you think of the movie overall? Like, would you recommend it? Would you recommend seeing it in theaters? So like, let's hear your review of the movie.
You know what? Overall, I would recommend it. I'm vaguely familiar with the game. I've only played it once, and even then, I was like, I didn't even really know the full story of the lore, but it was good. It was a fun movie. I don't think I would not recommend seeing it in theaters. You could if you want to, but it's not a movie that just needs to be seen in theaters. Like it's not, like Oppenheimer or like a comic book movie or a sci-fi movie, something like that. It's like, this is just, I'm kind of just chilling at home Wednesday night. Let me put something on right quick. But it was cool though. It was a fun movie, and it was a couple of surprise appearances in the movie. It was some cameos that I thought were really fun because they were They were like people that I'd seen before on like YouTube, and it was really cool to see that. But yeah, it was cool though. It was fun. The story was kind of all right. It was serviceable. You know, it was like we got to relate to the main character, so we got to put these kind of sympathetic moments in the movie. But it was cool though. It was cool. I liked it a lot. I'd probably give it like a C minus. No, C plus.
Yeah, no, I watched the movie as well. On Peacock though. As someone who followed it much more, I agree. I think it's an entertaining movie. I think it's a good movie to watch. I can understand why the fans, loved it so much. I think the CGI and the animatronics was honestly really perfect. Like they did so well for that. But like for me, I'm not speaking for the fans, but for me as a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, it was lacking. But I think this is just really an an introduction to the movie. So even though I felt like a lot was lacking in it, I felt like it was still good. I think there are parts I was like, all right, but what's his name? Matthew Lillard, right? I think he is perfect for his role. I truly love that he's in it. Because him doing movies like this, it's just so amazing, and him getting attention again is so great.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people love him, but like he started getting attention as well again, really good. And so, he's starting to blow up and be in more things. And so it's really cool to see him, still do what he loves and still being that person, very goofy and a really good actor overall. Because he's done a lot of movies, a lot of like shows. Like he did the Netflix, I don't know if it's a Netflix show. I believe it is. But what's the show? The one about the three moms who like were that like robbed like a little store and then got in trouble with like the cartel and started working for them and stuff like that by doing money laundering. That he plays the husband who cheated on one of them, and so it's just a really good show. I like it a lot. But yeah, no, to see everything but I think overall it's an interesting movie, more of an entertaining movie than movie I'd say like I thoroughly love. I'd at best give it like a 7 out of 10, maybe like a 6.5. Again, it's just an entertaining movie. It's not too scary that little kids can't watch it. I think little kids would definitely enjoy it, especially for families. Like if you're a family people and you want to introduce your very sensitive child, and I'm speaking from experience, has the sensitive child to scary things, this is a great introduction. Because I hate horror movies, but I'm watching them more and more as time goes on. I think within the last few years, I think there was only one movie I took off that was just too much for me, which was Terrifier. So but it has like dude, it's fucking terrifying.
Fuck that, bro.
They hit their mark. Holy shit! I think I'm one day I'll get back to watching it and finishing it through and through. But there's two movies now that technically I stopped watching midway and never went back to. But yeah, no, I think Five Nights at Freddy's is more of an entertaining movie. But I do believe the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's did have a hand in it. So yeah.
He so also first thing is so he co-wrote the screenplay. And Joe, I'm so sorry. I know you watched it on Peacock, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, I am. First off, I am so sorry about that. I know you watched it too.
It's all good.
Like, Joe and Nick. Speaking of which, so I think what Nick, I'm gonna copy what Nick said too. I don't think you missed much for not seeing it in theaters. I think when me and Nick saw it at the screening, it was like the fan base was there. Like again, we were there because the critics were there too. We sat in the critic section, but you can tell like the fans were in the right in the front. They were in the front or they're in the way back, and like you can tell like when something happened in the movie that was game related, they were like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! This is crazy!" Like you can tell like the diehard like fans of this game and this lore were gonna show up no matter what. Like whether the movie was gonna be good or not, they were gonna show up regardless. But I truly think that you didn't miss much not seeing it in theaters. I think this was again as someone as we're all pro theatrical. We're like this is the way to go. Movie theaters, this and that. I truly will. On record, I will say I don't think you missed much by seeing it on Peacock. Personally.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Especially because like things do get out of hands when it comes to fans sometimes in just big groups. I think I'm happy that I avoided the theater because like what was it the first day it came out there was like a gigantic fight in one of the theaters.
Dude.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's like a bunch of like high schoolers.
Bro.
It looked like high schoolers, so I, and knowing Chicago, it might have been Chicago. You never know. So just trying. Yeah, I'm glad I stayed home.
No, you know what's crazy, Joe? That was an opening day. That was at a fucking advanced screening.
What? That was at an advanced screening? Jesus Christ.
So that had to be Chicago or somewhere like Harlem or somewhere in New York for sure. Or LA. Or LA.
No, I'm glad I wasn't there. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm honestly, I don't mind seeing it at home. Jesus Christ.
What are you fighting for? Like, oh my god, this movie wasn't good. I'm gonna fight somebody. Like, what was the purpose of that fight? Like, I'm so curious of that. Because I came home to do a reaction video for me and Nick, and I was like on Twitter, or whatever. It was like, oh my god, at the screen, someone had a brawl. I was like, the movie didn't come out yet. Like, how's there a fight already? I was like, what?
I made a joke to my friends because I know how the internet is, but I don't want to say it on the show because I don't know how people would react to it. But I'll let y'all after the show's done. I'll tell you both. No, I'll just tell you both when the show's done.
All right, tell us.
But like, it's just, no.
Oh, dude, guess what?
I want to say it, but I can't.
Guess where it was? Fucking London, bro.
London?
Fucking London, bro.
You should know with all those hoodies and hoods on.
Bro, I remember seeing I think it was Shazam in London, and oh my god, bro, everyone was fucking like obnoxious as fuck. And this one guy threw a bottle at the screen. And I was like, bro, it's not that serious, man. Like, relax. People were angry at that movie, and I was like, bro, it's fucking Shazam. Like, chill. Like, not that serious, please. Like, relax. I was like, come on now. But this was at apparently in the UK. And I was like, but you're right. I'm like, oh, this is for sure Chicago or somewhere in LA or somewhere in New York. I was like, who knows? No, it was just, it happened. I can't say I'm surprised it was in London. But I'm like, but out of all the movies too, why? Like, why this movie? Like, we all like, this movie was bad. No, fuck you. And start fighting each other. Like, it's not that, early in the show, it's not that serious, bro. It's not that serious. So I'm like, oh, come on now. But yeah, guys. Yeah. So yeah, you heard Nick, you heard Joel, you heard my review. My review was posted a week ago. Again, it made a lot of money. I think Jason Blumhouse knew what they were getting involved with. I think, I do think too that in my review I said this felt like a first draft of a script that it wasn't really polished yet. Because I was hearing a thing on, oh man, I think it was Double Toasted podcast, and they were saying that the guy Scott Cawthon, whatever his name is, when he wrote the script, I think he was going to sell it to Warner Brothers originally, and WB was like, cool, thank you so much, we'll take it from here. And he goes, no, I'm involved with this movie. And they were like, what? They were like, no, if you're making this movie, I'm going to be involved. And they were like, oh, shit. So they're kind of like, oh. And then he walked. So apparently, he was like, cool, if they're not gonna be involved, I'll see y'all later. Deuces, and he took off. I think Jason Blum got the rights like years ago. So I think he was on either Seth Meyers or Jimmy Fallon, and he was saying like it's been like 10 years of his life trying to make this movie. And I was like, 10 years, Jesus Christ. And he was saying like they had so many different directors, different writers. And if you pull up like kind of the history of the time on this movie, like there was so many different filmmakers and directors attached and writers attached. It went through so many different like script revisions and everything. And I was like, wow, this must have been a hot script for this game that was so popular. But like I said in my review, I said that I think this was definitely felt like a first draft of a script. To what you said too, Joe, it was like, again, cool seeing Matthew Lillard back. I think also Hutcherson's a very good actor too. I think it's kind of overlooked as well as a young talent as well. But I think there was room for improvement. And so I was listening to the Double Toasted podcast. They were saying it would have been cool if he wasn't going home every night. If he was like staying there for 5 nights at the actual pizzeria, that would give him more suspense. Because if you're going back and forth, you're kind of losing the momentum. You're kind of losing kind of like the scared, like, ooh, like he's going home, he's fine. But if he was stuck there for 5 nights, with more of a tighter script, like think of this: movie opens, Universal, Blumhouse, a car rolls up, stops. You see him in the car at the pizzeria. You hear Matthew Lillard saying, "Hey, there's a job for you," blah 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 blah, and he's there for 5 nights. He can't leave. Like he can't leave. Like, I mean, he can try to leave, but he's kind of stuck there. I think if it was a tighter script, it would have been like, ooh, like I feel the scares. But he was going home. He's going to seeing his aunt. He was kind of doing shit, at the park with the officer. Like, I was kind of like, go back. Even one point, I looked at my watch. I was like, we're almost an hour in. Where's these fucking scares at? Like, where are they at? I'm like, let's show up. So, I don't know. I definitely.
That's a really, really good point.
Right?
Damn. Like, if he would have just stayed there the whole time, then like it would have just been like really fucking tense the whole time.
That claustrophobia, dude. That feel of suspense.
That would have been
I'm trapped.
That would have been. You know what? I think if Blumhouse wasn't as mainstream, like if it was more like A24, like a more like indie studio, then they totally would have done that.
Yeah, I think I was kind of surprised because I feel like, well, also too, again, you and I are still in the minority that we like Exorcist for the last one for what it was, even though we got fucking death threats.
I couldn't believe no one else liked it. That was insane to me.
I was telling Kaylin, I was telling your girl at our party, I was like, we got death threats, and she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, over a movie that you not really enjoyed. Even Lee was like, yeah, you guys loved it the most, and I was like, yeah, that's out. Yeah, we did. We enjoyed it, but teach their own. But you make a point, Nick. You're right. I think it was more of an A24, more like kind of like a less mainstream. But also too, I think they spent a lot of the money on the animatronics for sure. And I don't want to sound like again, so we're all aspiring filmmakers, all 4 of us, including Moses. I don't think my thing was that this is a really big IP. This is a very big game. To give that to a first-time filmmaker who has made nothing before that, that's a big risk. And they got lucky because it paid off. And no diss to her whatsoever. She made a lot of money on the back end deal for this movie. I applaud her for that. But like, I do think that if you're gonna have a big IP, big game like this, have her do at least 1 or 2 movies first, and then work your way up. And I use it all the time. Ryan Coogler, Fruitvale Station, Creed. But remember, Creed also was a very kind of modest budget, like 50 mil or less that budget movie. And then Black Panther, which is a huge IP. Or Greta Gerwig, Lady Bird, Little Women, huge IP. Barbie, it's $1 billion. I do think that Blumhouse is they take a risk in their filmmakers as well as their kind of just like, collaborators. I do think that they might have gone with someone either who was more seasoned or maybe has more films under the belt. But like this director, again, who I'm very curious to see what she's going to do next, either a sequel or something else. But I do think she was kind of too green to like, hey, I'm taking on this big ass franchise, big ass IP. I'm gonna do it. My first movie. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask for.
Is
I mean, good for her, but holy shit, that's a lot of pressure as well.
that's a lot of trust
It's a lot of
in a new
trust.
person. Like for I can understand when people like see something that directors have done by themselves or with low budgets, and be like, this person has a lot of potential. Like I trust them, but to like have done nothing and get that trust to do such a big movie like this, that's wild. That's like it's like me doing a movie right now. You know what I mean?
Honestly,
Like
Joe, yeah.
that's so crazy. That's honestly insane.
Well, honestly, Joe, I don't want to sound like like an asshole here, but like it's kind of how it. I mean, it's kind of how. I mean, yeah, it's kind of you doing it, but also I feel like video games a lot. Like I think you know more video games than her. That you can understand cinematic difference, game difference. How can you combine the two? Because you're a gamer and you know the lore, story building, things. And I think you would have known more personally about how to like bridge the two of gaming and cinema together. Where I think this was kind of like she goes, "Cool, y'all hiring? I got a job." And I do think that I think her as a filmmaker, again, Emma Tammy, I think she has a lot to say as a filmmaker, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does next. But I think it would have been cool to be like, hey, Blumhouse, we're gonna give you her a low budget movie, do an original, do like Jordan Peele, do your Get Out, do your original movie, and then hey, you know what? We worked with you before. Let's bring you on Friday Night Freddy's. I think Blumhouse should have. I can't put on Blumhouse more than her. Whereas like, hey, we should give you your own movie first. Make it for Blumhouse is very cheap too, 2 to 5 mil, whatever. Do your thing, and then when you're ready, we have this waiting for you. If you're really into this, we have this waiting for you. Like again, which is all last time too. Josh Trank, Chronicle, we all fucking love. It's an amazing movie. Holy shit, it's an amazing movie. But to
Mm-hmm.
me, you go into that to Fantastic Four, that seems like, whoa, chill, chill, chill. You only have one movie down. You have an IP already like that. You gotta relax. You have a good cast, but relax. That's a huge jump from a low, 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 low found footage movie superheroes to a huge Marvel property like that. You gotta give it time. You gotta give some time. And I truly do think that if she had more films under her belt, I think would have been like, oh wow, okay, this is definitely no. She has experience in horror. She has horror stuff with this and that, whatever. She's ready for this movie. I think Blumhouse was kind of desperate. They were like, you know what? Let's go. We're doing it. I think they should have taken their time with like the script and development. Unless the guy who made the game was like, nope, need it done tomorrow. But like I said too, like this movie's been in development for 10 years. I think Blumhouse had it for 10 years, and they were working for it. I think they should have spent more time with her to develop the script. Because you had three writers on this movie, including her and the creator of the game. It just seemed like a really first rough draft of the script that wasn't tested before either. Like, and what we're doing this movie, I'm not gonna test it. God be with us all. And it's like you should have taken more time, if you ask me. But again, that's just me. This is me. That's just me. But again, it made a lot of money. She's smart with her money. She made a lot of money on the back end. So kudos to her. But yeah, we'll see how it does. We'll see how it does in the long run, as well as sequel talk too. Because I think Blumhouse can be like, we're doing 200 more, like Paranormal Activity 5, 6, 7, 8. You don't want to like you don't also don't want to beat this franchise to the ground either. But
Yeah,
again,
that's true.
that's just me. That's just me. Alrighty. So, guys, I mean, I sent you guys in the group chat today, too. We have a lot of trailers to talk. Oh, my God. It's been like trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? I mean, it's cool. I mean, also, yeah, today the SAG actor had another strike, which is awesome. People going back to work.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get Deadpool 3 soon, hopefully. But hopefully no one rushes their movies as well. So the first one I want to talk about, I think you guys saw this one, too, is you guys saw the trailer for The Fall Guy, right? With Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt.
I did.
I did.
That looks amazing.
Dude.
That looks like it's gonna be really good.
This shit looks awesome. This shit looks so fucking good. It's David Leitch who did the first John Wick, Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, Hobbs and Shaw, and Bullet Train. So I was like, okay,
Hell yeah.
he knows action for sure. You got
Yeah,
Ryan Gosling kind of doing
especially
his
after Bullet Train, bro.
so good, dude. Bullet Train is so fucking
Oh
good.
my god,
It's so good, dude. Bullet
bro. Oh
Train.
my god.
And he's also again like Chad Stahelski, who did the John Wick franchise. They're both stunt guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're big movies. Where again, if you don't know, David Leitch, for our listeners, David Leitch was Brad Pitt's stunt double in Fight Club, which is really cool. And then years later, he had him a cameo in Deadpool 2, and he directing him in a feature film, which is Bullet Train. So these guys, Chad Stahelski, David Leitch, Kelly McCormick, and the people at A7 North and 11, the action guys. These guys have really kind of rebooted action for all of us, for the new generation, whether it's John Wick, Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, Bullet Train. These guys know action no matter what. And the trailer, I talked to you and to Joe, I was like, this shit looks fucking awesome. Looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cool because I'm like, I didn't know this was a TV series back in the day. Kind of a really corny, like 80s action series back in the day. But I'm
What?
like,
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
Neither
It was a
here.
TV series.
Yeah,
no,
I didn't know that at all.
It's called The Fall Guy with Lee Majors.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
I've heard that name before. But I can't quite place his face.
I know him from. This would be crazy. This is a reach. He was the grandpa in the Ben 10 live action movie years ago.
Never saw it.
Wait, which Ben 10 movie?
The original live action movie on Cartoon Network years ago.
The first, was it not Race Against Time?
Yes, sir.
Where
yes,
he,
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where it was like the British alien villain. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. Race Against Time. He played the grandfather, and that's all I know him from. And when I saw the Fall Guy, I was like, "Oh, I can't wait for this David Leitch, Ryan Gosling. I'm like, blunt. I'm for this." And sure enough, it was based on a 80s series that ran in the 80s called The Fall Guy, called About the Adventures of a Film Stuntman Who Moonlights as a Bounty Hunter When Movie Work is Slow. And I was like, oh, now I get it. You got David Leitch, Ryan Gosling, who I fucking just adore so much. I love, man crush on him. And I'm like, okay, you got a hot actor, you got a really good actor who pull off anything, and you got David Leitch, a stunt action guy. Let's go. Nick, you first, my friend. What was your thoughts of the trailer overall? Are you excited for it? What are your thoughts?
I'm super excited for it, man. Again, like I said earlier, especially after Bullet Train, because Bullet Train was just like
so good.
Not to speak in hyperbole, not to sound too dramatic, but I'm like, I've never seen an action movie like this, man. It was like as action, like the action, the fight choreography was on par with the comedy in this movie. And typically, I feel like those don't usually mesh. Like I remember, it was either 2009 or 2011. This movie called Night and Day with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz. You guys remember this? Where it was like, it seemed like it was such a big deal because it was like James Mangold. That's right, because it was everyone was excited for it because it was like, oh man, like it looks like the action is gonna be like really really good because it's Tom Cruise, but it also looks equally funny and blah blah. Like so. Everyone was excited for it, and I don't know what everyone thought about it, but me personally, I'm like the action just wasn't really there. Like everything was kind of soft.
I agree.
So
I agree.
Like, you feel me? Yeah. So watching Bullet Train, like it was kind of like I don't really have those concerns over it, but it still kind of surprised me despite that. Just the quality of the action and the humor and how it was all of these like twists and turns and narratives that tied into each other and everything like that. I thought that was really cool. My only thing is I feel like marketing, like the trailers and the TV spots showed too much because I feel when I was watching it, I'm like, this would have been a much better experience if we really just thought it was Brad Pitt on a train trying to find like a lost briefcase and maybe someone stole it and that's it. And then when you watch the movie, you find out about like Zazie Beetz' character and this character and that character and da 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 da. And like, I feel like that would have been kind of like that would have just been like holy shit, this is incredible.
Yeah.
But for the Fall Guy, I feel like I kind of rambled a little bit.
It's the show.
But no, yeah, it looks funny, man. Like I'm especially excited to see like how they do the stunts and how they kind of tie that in with the story and the comedy, because that one shot where he was hanging onto like a rope on like the back of a truck and he
Oh
was kind
yeah.
of like standing on a board or something like that. I'm like, this looks fucking ridiculous. Like this, it looks really cool. It looks really cool. And my bad, slight tangent, but you gave out some trivia about the Ben 10 movie.
Yeah, what?
I got some trivia to match yours. You guys have seen the Bill and Ted movies, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
excellent, of course.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Which one was the blonde one?
The blonde one.
Yeah, the one that was not Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
I,
I think it's Bill, right?
that's Bill. Okay, well, Bill, because I remember the actor's name was is I
Alex
think
Winter.
Alex Winters. I want to say
Yeah.
he directed those live action Ben 10 movies.
No shit, dude.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
No kidding, dude.
that
No,
was him. That was all
wow.
him.
Okay,
Yeah.
the reason also I never knew that, and that kind of blows my mind now because I saw Bill and Ted like that's like 5-7 years ago. It was recently, and I was like, oh, this movie's fucking awesome. It's funny. When Keanu was like like before Neo and John Wick, obviously. It was funny about that though.
Oh yeah.
There's a line in Entourage. I forgot what season it is, where I think it's season 3, where Ari Gold, by Jerry Piven, was like, because his boss is kind of this like tight ass, British like head of the agency for actors, whatever. And his wife, Ari Gold's wife, is like, "Man, why are you so upset?" He goes, "You know, I'm upset. 20 years ago, we're at the Bill and Ted premiere, and my boss goes, 'Hey, I have Keanu. Guess what? You're the other guy,' and then walks off."
Yeah.
And I've heard like amazing things about Alex Winter, which is so funny. But like when I saw that like recently, I was like, yeah, that's kind of fucking funny. I mean, it's kind of true, but I'm like, that kind of. I have
That is
Keanu.
hilarious. That is ruthless.
I'll take Keanu. You take him, the other guy. It's like, well, that's a big fuck.
Damn.
It's a big fuck you to my
That's
career.
cold. That's fucked up. Imagine being him, like watching that. Like you're Alex Winters, and you watch that. You're like, all right, fuck these guys.
Yeah, I'd be like, man, fuck y'all. Wow, but I never knew the Ben 10 movies. That's wow. That is really some full circle shit.
That's
man.
wild, ain't it?
That's wild, man. That's so wild. All right, Joe, my friend, I texted you this trailer. What are your thoughts
Yes,
about it? Are you excited about it? What are your thoughts?
I'm hopeful for it.
Okay,
I'll say that at the least.
that's fair.
I'm not gonna be super excited about it, but I'm not gonna like already give it like a negative view on it. I think it's interesting. It can work. But when it comes to like action love movies, they don't really do as well as they did back in the day. I feel like those types of movies did a lot better, and we've done them a lot. We did was it The Right Guy? We did the one that you were talking about. Which those did pretty well, I guess. But I don't know. But again, I am a gigantic fan of Ryan Gosling. For a long time. I told you about Place Beyond Pines.
Pines.
I love Drive. I love a lot of the movies he does. I am hopeful for this movie because it gives me a good, it gives me the feeling of two movies mixed together, which are both Ryan Gosling movies, which is Crazy Stupid Love and The Nice Guys put together.
That's good.
Yeah, so I am hoping that this movie turns out well. I really do like Emily Blunt. I love Ryan Gosling. So I am excited to see it. And I'm just hoping that it turns out really, really good.
I think it's good. I'm looking forward to it. I agree. I think it's safe to be hopeful. But I love the comparisons of Crazy Stupid Love and Nice Guys. That's a fucking awesome comparison, by the way. I love that. I love that. And you know, I talk about a lot about like, oh man, more IP, like oh another remake, whatever. But I think that all three of us didn't know that this was a TV show before. It's kind of cool that like, wow, they're kind of bringing something back that like has not been done yet since the original, and kind of putting a new twist on it with like the action, the direction, the casting, or whatever. It's we see so much all the remakes and reboots, whatever. It's like oh another one of these. But I kind of think like if this does well, and I hope it does well, I feel like it might become one of those kind of like 21 Jump Street reboots that kind of like oh shit, no one asked for this, but it worked. Like this is gonna be cool. It's gonna be a win, hopefully. Like and you see like Baywatch or like Chips. Like no one saw that shit. That's kind of ass. Both of them kind of like this movie kind of suck. But like you never know. Like with the right IP, when it comes to reboot or remaking, if it works, it works. And I really think that you have these two great stars, Gosling and Emma Stone. Emma Stone. Emily Blunt, like you.
Emma Stone. Shame
Emma Stone. I know, dude. Oh, I'm thinking Forgive Me Love. Oh, man.
You deserve.
I got fired for that.
You deserve a slap from her husband.
I would have said Emma Stone, bro. I know. Will Smith, where you
at? You're kicked off the show now.
I'm on the show, man. You're fired.
John Krasinski's gonna slap you in the face one day.
Dude. I had it
for that.
I had it coming. But Emily Blunt, Ryan Gosling, Aaron Taylor Johnson, also Winston Duke, who I love, who's great in Black Panther and
I want to see him in more stuff.
Me too, man. He's really charismatic. He's a lot of charm to him too. So like I'm looking forward to seeing his kind of like chemistry between him and Ryan Gosling as well. But yeah, I'm hyped for this one, man. March 1st. Like again, I love that then Universal is still doing theatrical. This could have been a streaming movie too, but they said nope. It's going to be a live, big budget, live act again in theaters for the movie theaters. I love that. I think to me, I'm kind of we're seeing. I think also with the strike ending too, this yesterday too, is that we're going to see more of like, hey, a push for theatrical because you know why? The past couple of months they lost a lot of money. I think it's kind of like, hey, we gotta make shit in theaters. Let's get our money back. That's how I see it too, and I hope I'm right. But yeah, no, I'm hyped for this one. David Leitch to me, Tess Gillespie, those guys have done no wrong, if you ask me, when it comes to their action and filmography. So I'm looking forward to this one. I'm glad you guys are too. Hoping it's good. Alrighty. So with that down, something that I think was really interesting too. I mean, I think Nick, you and I talked about something about a week ago or so. I think before the screening as well. Is that and also Joe's been on this day one, like when it got announced at Comic-Con, is that. Yo, this Blade movie, what the fuck is up? Like, this movie's been talked about for like years, man. What the fuck?
It seems like it's just like a circus is going on over there. Because one of the last things I heard before hearing that it's back on track now is like he was going to be the fourth lead in the movie.
Yes.
Like, that makes absolutely no sense at all. Like, why would you do that? And especially. You have to be aware of the expectations people are going to have for this character and for this movie, like for the character and for the actor playing the character. Like to have him as the fourth lead, like basically in his own movie, it's purely nonsensical, my guys.
Like what?
It's ridiculous. It's like what the hell are y'all thinking?
This movie's gonna crash and burn.
You think so? Even with the new updates?
Dude, there's just too much that are just. I feel like it's too much headspin, and like, how are you gonna make the main character fourth? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, no. Sorry to interrupt. That was before.
But hey, did you hear about the rewrites though, Joe?
Yeah.
Did you hear about the rewrites after that?
So,
all right, I haven't heard about this.
So this is pretty cool. So. Also, too, I'm not gonna lie, too. I remember, Nick, I saw you a day of that was announced. Like, this is 2019. This is like July. You, me, and the boys went to the clubs. We're like, oh my god, new Blade, let's go. And I was like, Marshall Ali, man, this is a guy, man, two-time award-winning actor, Marshall Ali, who's the fucking like one of the best actors working today. We're like, oh my god, this is gonna be crazy.
I was fucking excited for that.
This is crazy. Man. This is gonna be crazy. And I remember Joe was all too well. This is July 2019. Joe goes, I'm intrigued. But it's a reboot. I said, shit, he's right. And Joe goes, listen, Doug, again, great casting, I'm not gonna lie. But Joe was right. Joe goes, Doug, it's a reboot. And I was like, shit, he's right. It is a reboot.
Yeah.
And Joe goes, and it's fucking Disney. And I was like, fuck, he's right. And
Damn,
also
yeah.
I remember that Marvel Comic-Con panel too, because Kevin Feige goes, someone goes, rated R, and he goes, nope, PG-13, and you're gonna like it. And then Joe sent me that YouTube clip. He goes, told you. And I was like, oh shit. So I was like, ooh, fuck. And I was like, damn it. But so anyway, to your point, Nick, to your point, Joe. So this movie's been in what, like fucking hell, development hell for like 4 years. They again,
So long.
this is for 5 years, man. This is crazy. There's when they hired a first-time writer, first-time director, and I said, oh no. And I told you this, Nick. I told you this to Joe and also Moses. I said, I don't like this. These people who wrote this movie have no experience writing a movie before, and this director has not done nothing before. Again, we're all aspiring filmmakers.
Yeah, I don't know why they kept fucking doing that. Because wasn't that the problem with She-Hulk also?
They again, I want to uplift. I want to inspire, aspiring filmmakers, because we're all that too. All four of us are that. But for an IP like these movies, like that, or even Eternals, or even anything, whatever, that's a really big risk. Go ahead, Joe.
And Blade is honestly, out of all of them, Blade is the biggest risk.
Yes,
because
huge
Blade has
risk.
such a gigantic fan base. I'm not even talking about the movies. I'm talking about the character himself, the comic books. My father, who is probably 60 now. I'm not good with my parents' ages. I don't pay attention. They're getting older.
It's math.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to I don't know my mom's age, so if my dad's listening to this, sorry. It's like 60 now, right? He grew up reading Blade comics. Like, he told me about, he put me on the Blade movies, he bought them. We went to go see them in theaters. Like, he loved the Blade movies. He told me about the comic books. He showed me comic books he's had. So for them getting such a big character, right, within to do a new movie with such a exceptionally big cast, by the way, who do have experience, who have done really well, and then having a director who has no experience whatsoever, what I mean? That's a really huge risk. What I mean? It's like getting a manager for power plant with veteran workers with a 20-year-old manager who just does not know what he's doing. Well, don't want to say don't know, but you know what I mean?
No, I get it. I got
you.
So
I got you.
So that is such a huge risk, because if this movie does fail, they're not gonna let that director live it down. They're gonna throw that director under the bus. But also, if they try to do anything else with this character, no one's gonna want to watch, or no one's gonna have faith in it, because really it's gonna be like the third new Star Wars movie where it's just gonna be freaking damage control. And no one wants to see that, especially for such a great character, as for a character that needs to be rated R, and someone's telling you it's PG-13, you're gonna love it. That's terrifying.
Dude, I could not agree more. And I remember following this a lot during COVID, so I'm like, it kept getting delayed. And then the director left, the guy who made nothing before. I don't want to butcher the guy's name, but he was kind of just saying, I don't know what the fuck. And the script was so bad. It was retelling. It was. So you said, Nick, he was like a fourth character in his own movie. Is that what it said?
Mm-hmm. He was the fourth lead.
So it was fourth lead, and apparently there was.
Yeah, that's who was the other three leads then, if not him?
My ass? I'm like, question mark? It's like, what? Like, Mickey Mouse can be in this bitch? I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, this is not good. And apparently there was only one action scene at the very end. And the director left, and Mahershala Ali was getting pissed. This is like 2021. He was like, what the fuck, guys? Like, it's been 2 years now. I signed on this movie. I'm turning away projects for this movie. I'm getting older too. What the fuck? I'm just like, oh no, this is not good. They leave. They bring on another guy, another writer who I think have won awards, whatever. And now, to your point, Nick, he's the fourth lead, and it was so bad. And they hired this guy, Jan Damage, who I actually like as a director. He made this movie called White Boy Rick that literally no one saw but me. I remember seeing it during college.
I remember you telling me about that. I also did not see it.
No one
Me
did.
either.
I remember.
And I wanted
It's
to.
on my
It's
list,
good.
though.
It's a solid movie. No, it's not great, but it's a solid movie. I remember walking to that movie. I think it was our junior year of college, Nick. It was 2018. I remember like time before like 3 hours before class, and I was like, I'm gonna see a movie. I go to AMC, the AMC bar campus, right? I walked over and I was like, what's playing? White Boy Rick. I'm like, all right, cool. Like McConaughey, let's go in. There was no one in that theater. I was like, go figure. And I was like, you know what? This was a cool character study. Wasn't a great movie, but I liked it for what it was. Cool, kind of like good. Again, young. It was like Jonathan Majors before he blew up. YG, Matthew McConaughey, who I love, Bruce Dern, Brian Tyree Henry, who I love from Atlanta. Love, great cast before they kind of blew up, but it was kind of missing kind of like a substance. And they announced him, and I was like, okay, he's on television. He's a few movies down his belt. Whether they're good or not, he has experience. And I was like, okay, Jan Damage. I'm like, all right, that's cool. He's experienced. I like it. And then they brought in this other guy. I think his name was Nick Pizzato was the writer. And I was like, okay, what has he wrote? Was he written as his career? And I think it was, let's see, because the girl originally, Stacey Osei Kufor, was a story editor on stuff like Watchmen, Pen 15, and Hustlers, and that's it. And I was like, okay, she wrote something before, but like not a feature film length. And I think it's hard when a writer from a TV series, your first big movie you're writing is MCU Marvel IP like Blade. Like you said too, Joe. Blade's a huge fucking deal. This is a big character.
And she wrote for Pen 15, you said? Pen 15's fucking hilarious.
Oh, I bet I heard it's really good, but like, do you think that like would be good for a Blade movie though? Also, again, I think she only wrote one episode of that show too.
Oh, one episode? No, not at all.
Okay, she wrote one episode of Pen 15, and she was a story editor on Watchmen and Hunters, and that's it. She wasn't a staff writer. Again, I admire her work, and she still a good resume for a writer. I'm jealous of her, but I'm like, you haven't done anything feature film. I'm like, uh-oh. And they brought in this guy, Mike Starbury. I'm like, okay, here we go. And same thing. He's only wrote stuff like episode of When They See Us, which I heard is amazing. Which is an amazing show by Ava DuVernay, who I admire a lot. And then Colin in Black and White, which I don't think that did too well on Netflix. So I'm like, okay, you have a few anthology or miniseries, but not a full series, not a full show or a movie. I'm like, okay. And then they brought in Nick Pizzato, who wrote stuff like The Guilty, the Mag 7 remake with Denzel and Chris Pratt and Ethan Hawke. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, so I think he co-created True Detective, which is a great show. I was like, oh, okay. But then I heard his script was ass too, and I'm like, what's going on with this movie? Like, what's going on? This is crazy.
How come no one can figure it out?
I think it was a Disney thing. I think it was a Kevin Feige thing. I think this movie was all over the place. But also, your main actor wants to walk. Mahershala Ali wants to walk, dude. Because you're like, I'm turning away projects for this movie that's not even ready yet. Ready in post production. I remember talking to a guy that Moses knew during COVID that worked on these big sets, and he was like, "Yep, Blade got delayed 3 or 4 times already." I was like, 3 or 4 times for a Marvel movie? Oh no! So last week it was announced Michael Green. I said, "Wait a second, Michael Green has wrote 2 of my favorite movies of all time, Logan and Blade Runner 2049." I said, "Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking." He also wrote all of the Agatha Christie Murder on the Orient Express trilogy for Kenneth Branagh. So he wrote all those movies. Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
He co-wrote Alien Covenant, which I haven't seen before. I heard it was kind of mixed from what I've heard. And
I would recommend Alien Covenant.
Okay.
I would especially like to see your thoughts on it. Yeah, because I enjoyed it. Like there's some stuff I'm kind of like, cool. But overall I'm like it was kind of dope though.
He also wrote 10 episodes of Smallville.
Oh hell yeah, I'm sold. 110%. I'm sold.
Okay, The only thing though he's written that I'm like, oh no, is fucking Green Lantern in 2011.
Hmm. You know,
But you know what? That
what,
he go ahead.
that's no, I'm just saying that's a weird one because the Green Lantern movie just seemed kind of weird from the get go. Like, it
Yeah,
really seems like that movie should have worked because even obviously like Logan and all the other stuff hadn't happened yet, but like you got Michael Green writing the script and you got Martin Campbell directing the movie, and Martin Campbell revitalized the James Bond franchise twice. The first time he did it was
hmm,
either 1995 or 1996 with GoldenEye, the first Pierce Brosnan James Bond movie, and it was such a big hit, and he was a lot of people's favorites. And then they're like, we gotta fucking reboot it. We gotta make Casino Royale, and we gotta do like a younger, more gritty Bond, and blah blah blah. Who we gonna get to direct? Martin Campbell. And Casino Royale, that's one of like the best Craig movies like out
hmm,
of in his tenure. So
hmm,
it's like
hmm.
Green Lantern just really seems like it should have worked, and I don't get why it didn't. I think there was no, you know what? Yeah, it was some studio interference. And I remember
For
Martin
sure.
Campbell. He wanted to cast Bradley Cooper as Hal Jordan, but
Huh,
I think the studio
Ryan.
wanted what's his name, Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
um
Ryan Reynolds.
yeah, and it's like I'm kind of like, dang, because Loki Bradley Cooper is Hal Jordan. That would be dope, especially in a good Martin Campbell movie. If it was like imagine like a Bradley Cooper a Green Lantern movie directed by Martin Campbell, but it's kind of like as good as you know like GoldenEye or Casino Royale, for
Would be
example. Oh, and
crazy.
also he Martin Campbell, that'd be insane. And also because remember he did the Mask of Zorro.
Yep, you read my mind, Nick. I was like,
I,
wait,
I,
he did Massazuro.
that
I was like, wait a second.
dude, that's one of my that's my top 10. Mask of Zorro, that's probably my number one of all time
And
favorite movie.
and to your point, Nick, you know what? I think guess what? After Green Lantern, he didn't write shit. I think he was in writer jail. He was like, "Fuck you, we're not hiring you anything." And his next thing he wrote as a movie was Logan. So it's kind of like, you waited. So you were on writer jail for a couple years. You know why?
The rent
You were
was due.
right was due, and he was cooking something with James Mangold, which was Logan. That I remember you and I saw opening night. We're like, holy shit! And when Joe and Sebastian saw it at the screening, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. And when you and I saw Blade Runner 2049, I was like, Michael Green, he wrote Logan. I was like, fuck, man, this guy can write a really good movie. I was like, oh shit. Like Logan and but
Yeah.
2049 were my two top 10 of that year. I was like, wow, who's this guy? And then sure enough, he wrote a show called American Gods that Joe was like, bro, this movie's so fucking good. You gotta watch the show, man. I remember Joe was
Yo,
raving about this show, right, Joe?
that was him.
Yeah,
American
it's
Gods, that's the
such
show. He was a showrunner.
really
He was a showrunner.
yeah
Yo, that's my
it's
shit.
dude. American Gods is so great, and it's based off of a book which I read. I didn't get to finish, but I read most of it, and it's
Oh,
like
you gotta
they
finish.
do
Get it on
so
Audible
amazing.
because Neil Gaiman actually narrates
Oh, that's
it.
cool. That's cool. I like
Really,
him.
I do gotta do it.
That's
Once I
sick.
get a
Yeah,
job, man, I
he
definitely gotta get
narrates it,
it.
and then at the end of the book, like they interview him, and it's like like what was the writing process like for the book, and blah blah blah, like what inspired you, and like da 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 da, and like it's him kind of like breaking it down and stuff like they're like picking his brain and shit like that. It's dope.
Nice. All right, for sure. I'll
So,
definitely do that.
so okay, so back to this. So Michael Green, so apparently Mahershala Ali wanted to exit like as soon as possible, and so apparently Marvel goes, "Hey man, we gotta hire a top tier actor, sorry, top tier writer," and they got Michael Green. And last week I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "That's the guy. That's the guy." I'm like, if he can write shit like American Gods, heard amazing from you guys, Logan, Blade Runner, Alien Covenant, as well as the Agatha Christie trilogy. There's a huge fan base for that trilogy too. I was like, okay, this guy has written shit before for superheroes, for franchises. He knows. Were they all good? No, Green Lantern. but he knows the lore and he knows like the franchise. So I was like, this is the guy. This is the guy. And I bet you he was like, I'm doing this shit. If I was Marvel, any other boo-boo ass script you had, throw it away, burn it, pee on it. I don't care. Burn that sucker. Throw it in the bin. Throw it in the fucking bin. If you can get Michael Green and Jan Dimash to see eye to eye and Kevin Feige do this shit, it's gonna work. And the reason I'm saying this is because, the other day too on the news was that they announced, oh, guess what? Rated R. I told you this. I told you this, Joe.
Okay.
I said, thank God. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Finally. Whether it's them being desperate, them like, oh shit, we can't fuck this up anymore. Okay, I'm asking you boys this too. This is how I feel too. I'm not 100% sure though this will be made though. For some reason, I have a weird gut feeling it's going to be like, yeah, just kidding. We're canceling this movie.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's Disney, it's Marvel.
Disney.
They have not done the greatest when it comes to a lot of things. Like, and we talked about this, like a lot of Star Wars projects have been canceled. I'm pretty sure Marvel projects have been canceled throughout the years as well that we probably didn't pay attention to. And just general things. So honestly, I could see that happening. I wouldn't be surprised because honestly, dude, after one, how long it's been for them to even get it to
almost
this
5 years.
point. You know what I mean? To this point
Mm-hmm.
is insanity.
5 years, man.
And the main actor is tired. He wants to do other things.
He wants to walk.
You have to get the production moving. You have to all stay on point, and that's the issue when it comes to like production and when it comes to the company and the movie production not seeing eye to eye. They have to meet in the middle. They have to be like, all right, we're gonna do it this way. You can't complain, and we gotta keep it moving. But it's really hard when the only real rated R movie that Disney has allowed is Deadpool. Like they took away the Punisher. They took away all these other, they took away the Netflix the shows, and they edited stuff out of it because they're just like family friendly, And Blade is not that. So if anything happens, if anything changes, and production doesn't get underway, we're fucked. The movie's scrapped. We never saw it, never came to, and until Marvel is sold to someone else, we will probably never see Blade done correctly.
Doesn't doubt me, man. Nick, what are your thoughts, my friend, with this news, with Michael Green on board? It seems like we're moving. What do you think? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think this movie's actually going to be made? Or what are your thoughts?
I'm definitely very hopeful, man. Hopefully Michael Green comes through with an amazing script and when Mahershala Ali reads it, he's like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. Hell yeah. And then they just make it, and it's an amazing movie, because especially just an R-rated movie. And it seems like Disney is kind of like doing a really dramatic restructuring of everything, because Blade isn't even the only project that they've like fired the entire team off of, because they did that with Daredevil and Born Again too, and they got like the team from the Punisher Netflix series and the Loki series to work on it. So it's like, okay, it seems like it's obviously too early to tell, but it seems like things are headed in the right direction, and it seems like the quality of content overall from Marvel is gonna start getting better. Hopefully, it actually does. Especially with Blade, man. Could you imagine? Because, dude, Blade cannot be a weak movie. It can't be a watered down, like this was a soft little, yeah, it's Blade, but it's like Disney Marvel Blade. So it's kind of like, it's a little soft and like it was kind of fun, but it was just like a little soft. It's like, nah, like I'm not saying you got to go necessarily as hard as the Wesley Snipes trilogy did,
Right.
but at the same time, it's like take note, take note of what they did. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't give me no bullshit. Don't give me no bullshit with this Blade franchise, man. Because y'all been fucking up way too long, man. After Endgame, y'all just lost your shit. Y'all got confused. Y'all just started making every single project y'all could fucking make. Y'all ain't got no one leading this shit. Y'all talking about it's the motherfucking multiverse. It's the multiverse saga, but it's like, okay, we've had like 3 projects talk about the multiverse, man, but like everything else has been like fucking Thor and She-Hulk and like Moon Knight and like that's all cool and dandy and everything like that, but it's at the same time it's like who's leading these next few, who's leading this saga? Because before it was Iron Man and Captain America and Thor, like they were the main trinity kind of leading that whole Infinity Stone saga. And now here we are in the multiverse saga, and it's like based on kind of what I've seen, it seems like Loki and Doctor Strange should kind of be the leads of the MCU right now. But even then, it's like we've only seen them in like one thing each. It's too directionless, and it's like, okay, what the fuck are y'all doing? And all that is to say, I don't want Blade to get caught up in that bullshit. I hope when they make the Blade movie, they fucking just like they put their foot in it and they just make a really good movie. And it's like when you watch it, it's like, wow, hell yeah, finally.
I am completely with Nick on this. I don't want to see any cameos. I don't want to see any other Marvel character in this. I just want it to be Blade and strictly Blade.
Dude, totally.
Dude, I don't want to see fucking, Daredevil. I don't want to see fucking, what's his name? The fucking I don't want to see anyone that has to do with magic. I don't care. Make it Blade and strictly Blade. If I fucking separate it from everything else. I don't want to see any bullshit. I don't want to see them in the future do PG-13 because they were just trying to get another character to team up with them. Like, I give no fucks. Like, I want strictly Blade. That's it. I don't care. I really don't. So I completely agree with Nick that I don't want to see any bullshit. I just want it to be a really good Blade movie, and that's it. I don't care about expanding the universe. Like, no one gives a shit anymore. They either people watch these things or they don't. But Blade, that has to be really good. And so I don't care about the universe. I don't like a lot of people honestly don't give a shit about this Marvel universe stuff. It's really more of the diehard fans of cinema and everything. And honestly, like I don't like personally as like a Blade fan, I don't care about what they want. I want just a really good Blade movie that has nothing to do with any other Marvel thing. I don't want it to see in like a little newspaper in the background. I don't want to see nothing. Just keep Blade. He won't give a fuck about any of this. So keep Blade, please.
All right, so I this is what I'm thinking. Talking about this with you boys. Okay, so right now with the strike ending, they're going back to work with Deadpool 3, which is supposed to come out now in July. I'm like, that's too soon. They should put that back even more. I think they should put that back to late 2024, 2025, because you're gonna rush that shit now even more. I mean, I know half of it's finished before the strikes, and now you're kind of like, well, we want it done in July. I would push it back as much as you can. I want good quality stuff. I'm asking you guys this: do you think since Deadpool 3 is gonna be the first Disney Marvel movie that they ever had, I think it's going to do well because it's fucking Ryan and Hugh are back, obviously. Do you think there's a chance that Disney's like, you know what? Let's wait how Deadpool 3 does. If it does well, we'll keep the R rating for Blade. If not, back to PG-13 or canceling it. Do you think it's a possibility, or am I kind of just being too paranoid about that?
No, that is truly a
I'm
possibility
hoping
because
you're being
they
paranoid about that. 'Cause,
yeah,
God,
but they've
damn,
done it in the
if they did some
past.
shit like that, I would just have to. I don't know what I would do, bro. I would be
They
so fucking fed up,
they've
gravely
done it.
disappointed.
They've done it in the past. I feel like when it
No, I
came to
have.
certain movies, they have, you know. So I wouldn't be surprised if they truly did this because, you know, it's just it's just business bullshit where they're just thinking like, oh man, this movie didn't do well, even though we didn't listen to people and kept fucking in production, you know, and kept pushing for this movie to come out sooner than probably should have, you know. But you know, that's not our fault.
No.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
it's
do
like
what
'cause
we
they
think
keep
is
trying to
best.
make it. It's like they're just focused on pushing out all this content. I think Moses said it when he was on. Like it's just product. It's just content that they're pushing out. They're not really trying to tell stories anymore. And like
Yeah.
early MCU, that's like they were telling stories with that. Like phase one, phase two, and phase three, like those were
Hmm.
like stories. Those were about like characters and their journeys and how they grew and how they changed and their struggles and blah blah blah. But not everything, but some of the stuff post Endgame, it like the storytelling, like it seems like there's not that much care being put into these
No, not at all.
projects,
No, not.
and
Not at all.
it just seems very kind of manufactured and kind of like, well, the charts say this, so let's do this and blah blah blah, and it's like this, and
Yeah.
especially hearing about how some of these MCU movies were like originally gonna end. Like, do you guys hear about how Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was originally going to end?
No.
No, not at all.
Oh,
Would
yes,
y'all mind if
yes,
I say, I don't know if it's kind of
yes. Go ahead. Go,
spoilery?
Yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead. Who
go
cares? Go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah, who cares? Go ahead.
I watched it. I watched it. I just didn't know how it was originally going. Go ahead.
I remember this. I remember this. Yes. Yes. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, apparently the original ending was Scott and Hope were gonna end up being stuck in the quantum realm, and I don't remember if that Kang variant was gonna get to the not the real world, but like regular size Earth. I don't remember if he was gonna die too or not, or if he was just gonna be stuck down there with them. But if they were stuck down there, one, I feel like that would have just been like a much heavier ending, and it would have kind of been like, oh shit. It would have added more it would have added more gravity to the situation, but also like it's like them all escaping at the last minute. It just seems a little too safe. And matter of fact, I was watching, there was this YouTube video. It was breaking down this dude, like, was all of his complaints about it. And I shit you not, this is a 5.5 hour video because he goes through the movie fucking frame by frame, just breaking everything down. Like, okay, well, this doesn't make any sense. Just either from like a filmmaking perspective or from like a story perspective, and like I don't think Quantum Mania is like the worst movie, and I feel like a 5.5 hour YouTube video just basically complaining about it is a bit much. But at the
Mm,
same time, like a lot of the points he was making, I was like, that's low key a good point.
He's got a point. He's got a point.
Yeah, it was kind of like that because like one point that he was making was everybody like everybody in the movie was basically like shitting on Scott Lang, and they were like, okay, you wrote a book, okay, you saved the world, who cares? But the dude was pointing out like, yeah, but at the same time, like he saved the world. Like no one would have been undusted and saved if Scott Lang basically didn't come up with that plan. And then like they're saying like his daughter was kind of just acting different, and like his daughter was like shitting on him too, and everyone was being all like disrespectful to him and making fun of him for writing the book. But apparently the dude read the actual book, and in the book, like Scott Lang says that the Avengers asked him to write the book to let everybody know what happened.
What?
So like with that context, when you're watching the movie, it's like it's weird that they're shitting on him for writing the book when he was asked to buy the Avengers to write the book. It's like that's just fucking weird, man.
yeah.
What? Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so. That's That's
Yeah,
lame
it's
and
like all of this like
dumb.
weird like writing bullshit. It's like it's written by AI or some shit. Like this shit just doesn't make any sense anymore, bro.
Yeah, God, yeah.
And I'm not
I
not all of phase 4 and 5 are bad, but it's just been kind of like lacking a little bit lately, in my opinion. But
Oh
with
hell
that being
yeah.
said, it is my bedtime, or rather my
oh,
bath time.
for his bubble bath
I
and
got
his
the water
wine,
bubbling and boiling right
red
now.
wine.
About to
He
put my
got
I
some
slippers on, my little fuzzy
CBD
robe,
gummies on
my
side of the
red
bed and
wine,
shit.
my warm milk, my chocolate chip cookies, my little foot massager, man, my back
Oh
scrubber.
man, life is good for you, my
Mm.
boy. Life is good for you. All right. As always, before you end the show, before you leave, we need your one and ones of the week, and where can they find you off when they're offline and like, on Instagram, stuff like that.
Okay. Let's see. One on one. So for my television show one on one, I'm going to say Luke Cage. It's
Oh,
kind
good
of
choice.
a spin-off of the Netflix Daredevil show. It's like a spin-off of a spin-off of it. And it's got Michael Coulter as Luke Cage. And I remember when this show came out, it was so fucking cool, man. They had the kind of like 1970s blaxploitation type feel to it, but it was still like modern, and it was still relatively grounded. And because of how grounded it was when he uses his powers, even though it's not really showy like that, it still makes it kind of almost a spectacle to watch. And the first season was a little bit rocky. Like it was pretty good at first. Also had Mahershala Ali, speaking of which. And then like the second half of season 1 out, like it didn't fall apart, but it was just like it was a little bit, it just wasn't quite as good. And then season 2 came through, and it just it blew my socks off, man. Season 2 was insane. Like you definitely gotta watch it, and especially for the ending. But unfortunately, because it left off on a really cool cliffhanger, but all the Marvel Netflix shows were canceled. So yeah, we're not gonna get to see what happens, because like the way season 2 left off, like season 3 would have been incredible. And I'm trying to think. Sorry, I think my one movie recommendation. We kind of brought it up earlier. The Mask of Zorro. That's probably my
Hey,
favorite. That's my number one favorite movie of all time. That was one of the first movies I had seen. My grandma showed it to me and my cousins, and like, bro, we could watch it like 7 days out of the week, man. It was just so fucking good, man. Like the action was good, the romance was good, like the just everything about it was so, and it's so quotable too. Like I quote it to this day. You feel me? And it's just like, my God, like Antonio Banderas, like that was my introduction to Antonio Banderas and Anthony Hopkins and Catherine Zeta-Jones. And that's like, that movie is probably my favorite performance from all three of them. Like that movie is just incredible. The sequel, not so much.
oh no, did you hear that?
Like that sequel was kind of rough.
You hear that Antonio Banderas was like, "I want Tom Holland to play Zorro next," and they were like, "What?" They were like, "Huh?"
I saw that and I was like, I didn't take it too seriously. I'm like, he's just talking. Because if he was like dead serious, like that would be kind of like, don't have him play Zorro. Because matter of fact, when they were making the original Mask of Zorro, when Steven Spielberg was attached to it, no, I think because he executive produced it. I think he might have been attached to either just produce it or direct it at one point. But when he was like early in the pre-production stages of it, like they were considering getting like Tom Cruise to play Zorro, and like nothing against
Tom
Tom Cruise, but I'm like,
Cruise.
that wouldn't have been good for that, unless you just
What?
said it was like 100. Yeah, like unless they just like completely redid it. They're like, yeah, this version of Zorro is just 100% American, but then like that would be fucking weird. Either way you spin it, it's
Also,
like
yeah, he's
not
also
Tom
white.
Cruise. Yeah, like
Whitewashed
that's
like
what
a
I'm
White.
saying.
motherfucker, Zorro. Fucking
What?
Bro,
instead
get him
of
Man,
as
being like
Zorro's
all about
sidekick maybe
family,
or something, but not as like the main guy,
instead of being all about
or
family, it's
even as
all
the
about
villain. That could be kind of
Scientology.
cool.
Yeah,
What's
Scientology
up?
presents Scientology versus Zorro. Zorro the Scientologist.
Oh my god.
Zoro the Scientologist.
Scientologist, yeah. Whoosh, whoosh.
Right? Fucking instead of a Z, it's an S.
That's
Oh my
Scientology.
god.
Bro, I remember when Top Gun Maverick came out, someone said, "Man, this shit was so good. I'm signing up for fucking Scientology tomorrow."
Oh my god.
I was like, God
People
damn
are
it.
fucking wild, bro.
Oh man, but good choices, Nick. Yeah, again, I also I haven't seen Master Zorro in fucking forever now. Now we can't even watch it
Same.
now. Now I'm gonna rewatch it because it's
Telling
been
you,
fucking
man, like
years, dude.
that movie. Oh man. Hey, matter of fact, come over. Let's watch it.
Oh, bro, say less, bro. I'm there. I'm there.
Let's fucking do it.
I'll bring the red wine, baby. I got you.
Give me
Yeah,
eight
let's set it up.
hours. I'll
8 hours.
be
He'll be
there.
there. Joel will be there too,
Say
bro.
less. Say less.
He'll be
We
there.
get the whole squad together. Get the whole
Uh,
squad and the ladies too.
Before you go, where can we find you outside the show?
You can find me on YouTube at Dawning Vision. That's capital D as in David, capital V as in Vendetta, and on Instagram at Dawning Vision, all one word, all lowercase. You could find me anywhere that they have podcasts, and like I said, on YouTube and on Instagram.
Here we go. There we go, man. We love you, Nick. Thanks for a great show, man. We
Thank
can't.
you guys. Love y'all
Oh,
too.
just wait. Slight tease for next week. No, I know you'll be gone, but I'll probably read your review or wait till you get back from your trip to Orlando. Nick and I are going to the press screening AZ premiere of Hunger Games next week, and guess what?
Nice.
Yes, indeed.
This is Nick's first Hunger Games. Believe it or not.
Wow.
This is my first Hunger Games movie. So now I'm about to watch them all in order, all in timeline order.
Yes, sir.
Nice. So he's gonna understand when me and you talk about the Asian child. Dope.
And also, you haven't seen Joel's big break as an actor too in these movies.
Fuck off. We don't need to bring that into
What?
this. Please,
Oh.
no. It's an inside joke. We're not bringing
now
to
I
this
gotta watch
podcast.
them.
Well,
We're
like,
not
please,
bringing
please,
to this
please, please.
podcast. We're not bringing to this
Wait,
podcast
what?
for random ass people to be talking about this. We'll talk about this later off of the podcast. I don't mind.
I'm
We're not
definitely
bringing
watching
this
it now.
shit
I'm definitely
into the
watching
Joel's
it
gonna kill
podcast.
me
now.
now, bro. Joel's gonna
I
kill me.
swear to God, Doug, I'm gonna punch you so hard next time I see you. Next time I'm beating your ass and then taking your dog as my dog.
I pulled a Femi and Sebastian right there.
Yes. God, don't bring that shit to this podcast. I swear to God, if I see random ass people talking about this, I swear, no, we're not bringing this into the podcast.
Joel Hunger Games question mark.
We'll explain this outside of the podcast.
I'll
I'm
tell
about
you
to
about it
binge
another day.
all of them right now. I'm binging all of them right fucking now.
Oh
God
my
damn.
God, I hate
Oh my
you.
god! No! You got wait till Monday. Wait till watch the prequel and then go from there. I feel like you're gonna have the
yes.
best. I feel like if I'm saying anything before, I'm kind of curious to go in because I feel like you're gonna have a lot better understanding now with the prequel when we see it on Monday, and then you're gonna watch the 4 movies afterwards. I think it'll be more of a full circle for you if you ask me from what I'm hearing about this movie. So
Ooh.
I'd wait if I were you.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. Oh man. On Monday though, I'm gonna binge all of them. I'm about to see Joel in these movies.
Do you have? Are they streaming by chance? Let me see. Let
They've
me
got to be
see.
streaming somewhere,
I gotta
like
find it right
Netflix,
now.
or HBO, or something.
Not anymore. Oh no, you only here. I'll bring the Blu-rays for you on Monday so you can watch them. How about that?
Appreciate you. Yeah.
I got
Appreciate
them
you.
right there.
Appreciate you.
But no, you and Jake have a Blu-ray player, so I got you. I'll bring them on Monday for you.
Thank
I
you, my
got you.
brother. I appreciate
I
you
got
very
you.
much.
All right, brother. Love you, my boy. Talk to you later, man. Can't wait for Monday, my boy. It's gonna be
Have
awesome.
a good night, bro.
I love you guys. Peace and love,
Peace,
y'all.
brother. Love you.
Doses.
All right, so sorry,
All
sorry,
right, you
Joe.
son of a bitch.
Joe's gonna kill me, dude. Joe's gonna.
Dude, I swear to God, no
Joe's gonna
one
kill me,
better.
guys.
I
gonna kill
don't
me.
like if y'all. I swear to God, Z calls me something from high school.
I'm not gonna say what it is.
don't-
I'm not gonna say on the air.
Yeah, you
I'm not gonna
better
say it.
fucking not. We're not bringing this to
Dude,
random ass
dude,
people.
I
Start
know right
calling
now.
you this shit.
I know Joe has
Nah,
fucking brass knuckles in his hand. Like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. I'm gonna kill this
I swear,
motherfucker.
fuck. You don't have any names like this. So
I
don't you
don't, dude.
dare put this shit on me again. I'm done with it. It's
Hey,
high school. I'm
I
fucking
can't.
done with it.
I can't. It was funny though. Again, I can't even take credit for this shit because I'm not clever enough for this. But like the people who were clever for this, uh, I mean Carlos. But like, yeah, no, I'm not clever enough. But you're right. I'm.
You
Since I
son
said it
of a
too, and
bitch.
I was like, wait. I think my first time mentioning this on air too. I was like, oh shit. I know.
We're not. I'm not having random ass people make these jokes towards me. I swear. Fuck. I'm
It
gonna.
was funny, dude. It was so funny too. I'm not gonna lie. This is like 10 years ago. Was when that happened too. The first time, it's hilarious. It was so funny. I remember my parents saw the same movie too. This is like again, my parents saw it like months later after it came out with like discount or whatever. And I remember my dad was like, "Man, Joel was so good in that movie." I was like,
Fucking hell. Papa jokes.
I
God
was
dang it.
like, I remember laughing, bro. I was like, "Yeah, thank you, pops." I'm like, glad you saw the same thing.
I hate y'all. I hate y'all so much.
Thank Femi, if you listen to this, Femi, 10 years later, it still makes me laugh. Uh,
God.
oh my god. All right, so okay, so sorry, so switching franchises real quick. So
Uh,
Joe texted me this thing about a week or two ago about Daniel Radcliffe producing this documentary about oh my gosh, David Holmes, I think his name is. Um
yeah, I think it's David Holmes.
David Holmes.
His his
Stunt
stunt
double.
double.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I? Yeah.
Go ahead, please, go ahead. By all means. Take it away.
Yeah. So, if you guys don't know about this, because it has been like going around the internet like insanely, like
Mhm.
even just a simple post about it too. That's how I found out about it. Where Daniel Radcliffe decided to make a documentary about his stunt double who when he was doing Harry Potter. And in one of the films, he got injured, and he's handicapped. I didn't want to say disabled. Handicapped now after the injury sustained from the stunt that he did, and it's a sad one, but also like a very uplifting one, documentary, and to it's very interesting. It talks about like, them both doing the movie and how like close they got, and how still like even after everything, how his life changed after the accident, and like how Dan Radcliffe is still friends with him, and he and the guy, he's still a very positive person, and even though this like this thing happened to him, he's still you know he's still the same person that he's always been. So I really like it. The movie's called The Boy Who Lived, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah,
The
it's
Boy Who Lived.
David Holmes, the boy who lived.
Yeah, David Holmes, The Boy Who Lived. It looks like a very interesting documentary, and I am such a big documentary fan. Mainly, crime stuff, thanks to my mother and her cold case shows. But I do love documentaries, and I do really like this, and I think that's such a great and awesome thing for Daniel Radcliffe to do.
Dude, as soon as you texted me the thing, I was like, "Oh no way, that's crazy!" I wonder what's gonna come out. And the next day, the trailer came out. I was like, "Oh shit, this is what you were talking about yesterday." Literally, and I remember I watched the trailer, dude. I watched it like 2 or 3 times, and I had tears in my eyes, dude. I was like, I had goosebumps. I was like, "Holy shit, man! This is next level. Like, this is like because his story is amazing, and then the footage you see of him on all the movies." And from what I've heard too, is that it's so tragic that it's happened, but also they were on the last movie when it happened too. They were filming Deathly
Mm-hmm.
Hallows, and that happened. You're just like, oh man, you're so close to the finish line, and this happened. You're just like, oh my god, how this is tragic. And like, but you're right. Like the trailer shows of like how his handicap to him being handicapped is now like it's a disability, it's disability, but to him it's like I'm not gonna let this kind of like defeat who I am. And what Radcliffe
Mm-hmm.
says in the trailer too is like I'm not gonna talk about him like he's gone. He's still here. We're lucky to have him still. But yeah, man, and that footage of him with Daniel when they were kids, and them growing up together, just like they were like brothers. Like they're like
Yeah.
brothers. How close they were. Like they were his stunt double. And you know what's so cool too? I not noticed about this till literally like a day ago. The guy who making this documentary was the video camera operator of all 8 movies of Harry Potter.
Really? That's
Yeah,
amazing. I didn't know
that's
that. That's awesome.
Dan Hartley, video assist operator, which is like the camera operator for all the movies, from literally Sorcerer's Stone to Deathly Hallows. All 8 movies, he was the video coordinator, camera operator on those
So,
movies. That's amazing.
so the camera work for this documentary is gonna, everything about
Oh,
this documentary is very personal too, because yeah,
very
it's
authentic. Very
real
authentic.
authentic. I think, and I really like that. That's really hard to do nowadays.
Yeah.
Because because if you watch documentaries about certain things, like a lot of them just feel disingenuous, and there's documentaries that people have probably watched in the past, or where you're just like, this is mainly for money. They didn't give a shit about the story. So
Oh, for sure.
so there's a lot of heart within this documentary, in this film, that that's gonna go into it. It's gonna be genuine. It's gonna be real personal, and I really like that. That they're willing to share the story, and to not make it about Daniel Radcliffe.
No, they're not. They're not. Yeah.
It's not about Daniel Radcliffe. It's about the stunt double himself, and I do really like that. So that's really good.
Good.
No, you go ahead.
No,
This
you're
is
first. Go ahead.
something. This is something else. No, you go ahead. This is something else. This is a little thought in my head. Just go ahead.
No. Joe, please, with my honor,
I
I
was
insist.
gonna say that if he never got hurt, he would have kept moving within the movie industry.
Oh, stunts for sure.
Has Daniel Radcliffe stunt double, because Daniel Radcliffe has done a few movies where he had to do stunts, like the ones with the guns stuck to his hands, which I thoroughly, truly did enjoy, and like a few other things. So
Swiss Army Man.
Yeah, Swiss Army Man. So him and Dan Radcliffe like probably kept going, like probably Tom. Yeah. So yeah.
No,
A
totally.
lot of actors, when they get close to their stunt double does like almost every movie with them, and even goes on to do a lot of great things, like you mentioned earlier. Like who were you talking about?
Brad Pitt's a who's a filmmaker now. Yeah.
Yeah. So he could yeah, and that's what me and you have had this conversation in the past, where it's like, even if like as a filmmaker, like if I'm a filmmaker, that's like my worst nightmare, is to have an accident to whoever. It doesn't matter, like if it's someone behind the scenes or a stunt double or an actor, like it doesn't matter. Like that is just such a giant nightmare for someone to get hurt for a movie that I wanted to do. So I would probably be double, triple checking like every stunt and making sure that like we have everything we need if anything does happen, God forbid. So yeah. So I get and I'm pretty sure the director, right, of the Harry Potter movies were there, where he talked about it in the trailer. Who was it?
Yeah. So the guy who made David Yates, who I think so the first 4 Harry Potter movies, the first 2 were made by Chris Columbus, who did like Home Alone, great filmmaker. And then Alfonso Cuarón did the 3rd one, and then the guy who did the 4th one, I forgot, it was a one-off guy too. He did the 4th one, and then David Yates came in on number 5. David Yates did 5, 6, 7, 8. Also did the Fantastic Beasts trilogy as well. And David Yates, literally in an interview the other day, he was saying that on Real Blood on the podcast, he was saying that he's on set and you hear through the walkie-talkies, oh my god, there's an accident happening, because it was done via second unit, which is mostly done the stunt work, the action work is mostly in second unit. And David Yates, who directed the last few Harry Potter movies, the last few Fantastic Beasts movies, he was saying like there was like a pause on everything. They were like, what just happened? Because you're right, these are very expensive studio budget movies with insurance and with precautionaries, but it still can happen. Brendan Lee with The Crow was killed on set. Like,
That one's bad. Yeah.
Alec Baldwin, who the hot take. I don't want to get into that, but also Alec Baldwin was responsible for the death of the cinematographer on that movie. So
Yeah.
it's these movies are supposed to be safe, but you're right, Joe. It's they can still happen despite being the big budget, safe movies with all the insurance and safety precautionaries. It's still a possibility. I think Deadpool 2 as well. There was someone who got killed on Deadpool 2 set. It's like it still happens. Like freak accidents like this happen.
And Fast and the Furious, I believe.
Fast and Furious, yep.
It wasn't the second. I think it was the second or third. It was the second one, right? Yeah,
I think you're right.
Second one.
You're right.
Where one of the drivers, there was an accident. Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely happens. And I think it's also. I do think that some of the award ceremony. Again, we're not really the big award people either, but I do think that there's a really recognition to be had of the stunt work, the stunt team, because a lot of the work they're doing, they're putting their lives on the line. And despite what it is, I don't care what movie it is, stunt work is still a very serious thing that if one small thing goes wrong, you either lose your life or something happens to you where you're either paralyzed or handicapped. And it's like, how do you bounce back from this?
Yeah, there was a movie in the past. I forget what movie it is, but I saw this thing where there was a movie where this guy had two children in his hands. And I think it was an actual actor and like the actual like children in his hands, and he's like walking through water, and there was like a helicopter above, and the helicopter crashed down and killed all three of them. So like that's
gosh.
I forget what movie it was. I don't think I've ever watched a movie, but like I remember like hearing about this. So, like stuff like that really does happen. And that's like, anybody's worst nightmare. So, these things do happen. So for, we do have to, I'm glad there is an award ceremony for stunt team and everything, but it's also like we gotta remember these people because they truly do. They do the crazy things. They're the ones that get dragged by cars. They're the ones that get lit on fire. Like it blows. Like people really don't understand like how crazy it is for Tom Cruise to be doing his own stunts. Jackie Chan to be doing his own stunts. He used to do his own stunts. Like,
Daniel Craig doing it's crazy.
Because Daniel Craig, because Jackie Chan has gone to the hospital many times for like third-degree burns, breaking an arm.
Yeah.
Like he got really lucky with that, and not like, and his body, he's still healthy, thank God. It's just it's insanity, But it really just such, I love stunts in movies, and I really do pay attention to that. You talk about like the fight choreography and stunts and everything.
Time.
I feel like people really don't. They're just like, oh, the stunts were cool, and then they move on. And, but it's like, you really got to pay attention because these stunts are insanely dangerous. And a majority of this is not actors doing it, it's stunt doubles. And these people are putting their life on the line for it. Not just the money, but because they thoroughly do enjoy this. Like actors acting, they love that. And stunt people being stunt doubles, they truly do love that. Like, they like in the documentary they talked about how much he had no fear and he loved doing what he's been doing. So there is a true love for it that they put their own life on the line, which is just so crazy, but also just so inspiring. So
yeah, dude. I want to thank you, dude. I had no idea about the documentary until you put me on this, and you were like, "Dude, this looks amazing." And I was like, "Okay." I watched the trailer the next day. I was like, "Holy shit, dude! You're right. This looks amazing." So thank you for putting me on this documentary, man.
Oh yeah, well,
I would have no idea, man. I would have no idea.
Yeah, well, because we not only love movies, we love the art of movies and everything that goes within movies. We truly are, film fans, and me and you both love Harry Potter. We truly love dude. Harry Potter movies. I never read the books. People tell me I need to read the books, and like hearing about like the crazy like character differences in the books, like I want to read them now. I'm too broke for that, but eventually I will. I promise, guys, all my book fans that are listening to this, I will read the book. Give me time. But But we grew up watching Harry Potter, like, every year. You were Harry Potter for Halloween when you were real
Oh,
young
dude,
too.
every movie, man, I was there. Halloween, dude.
Yeah,
Every Halloween, dude, I was Harry Potter, man. That was a
man,
big part of my
had
life.
the fake scar and everything. Yeah, but it's like,
Yeah.
so to hear this and to, like we, to find out for me, like to find out so late after years of the movie being made, like that this happened is, I thought like it was interesting, and I really wanted to watch this. And I knew you wanted to watch this, so I had to share it with you, of course.
No, dude, thank you, man. I think it comes out next Friday. Let me see. I know it's November something. Um, uh, November 15th, which is next Wednesday. So I think we watched it on the show for sure. I think you and I are both kind of like really looking forward to this documentary a
Yeah, for
lot.
sure.
Oh my gosh, dude, man. But okay, so last trailer I want to talk about with you, and you and I were actually very kind of eye to eye on this. Like yesterday, you and I were kind of like, "Yo, spot on with this." Is the Ghostbusters trailer, which kind of came out of nowhere. Actually, I know there was rumors
Hmm.
about it, but kind of just dropped kind of like randomly. So
Yeah.
you and I also, again, I'm not making a joke, but you and I really have also been, huge Ghostbusters fans growing up when we were kids, and growing up too. We were like, oh my god, like those are classics. Even the second one,
Yeah, no,
classics.
the everyone watched Ghostbusters. Everyone knew who the Ghostbusters
Oh my
were,
gosh, huge.
Like when it came out and everything, like we both grew up on like VHS, by the way,
VHS, yes sir,
Ghostbusters. Yes,
yes sir.
VHS, like what I mean? It's just such a great like thing, and it's just like you love, Ghostbusters. It's such a, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters,
Ghostbusters.
like you knew the song and and when
Yeah.
like when the all-female cast movie came out, me and you were so just not only disappointed but betrayed and heartbroken. Not like when the trailer came out, when the actual movie came out, it was
Dude,
shit.
that was I'm right. I literally moved to Arizona. I was like, you know what? Me and Fletcher are gonna watch it because we were kind of bored. We didn't know anyone at the time. We were kind of like new to the area. So him and I went to the movies, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it because I do like the ladies. I like the director involved. It just to
Hmm.
me like the movie didn't have like what was the purpose of this movie? Again, I love Kristen Wiig. I
It,
love McCarthy, but I also love Paul Feig. But it was just to me, it was like this was a studio push for sure.
yeah,
And
the movie felt like. You want to know what it felt? The movie felt like a movie from a perception of someone that does not care for Ghostbusters.
there was
Like
no
does
love for it.
never watched it. Yeah, there was no love for it. Like it didn't watch it, and their view of it was like crazy scientist. Random weird guy trying to find love, like
Mm-hmm.
da da
Mm-hmm.
da,
Mm-hmm.
like a secretary, then we're gonna make fun of that and like make them all sexy. And when like the original movie was nothing really like that. Like yeah, like he was a crazy scientist, but like he was an actual scientist, not this like evil genius. Like whoa, here's my
Yeah.
potion. Da, da, da. Or it's
And the
like
villain was weak too. The villain
the
was
villain
very weak.
sucked
Yeah,
ass,
the villain was
dude.
weak, dude. And I think it was no diss to the ladies. It was just like this movie had no soul. Like, it felt like this was kind of like, all right, we're making a movie because because that was the era too. Like I remember this really well. It was like, dude, that 2015, 2014, 2016 era. Like everything was being rebooted. Everything was a reboot or a
Yeah,
remake or a sequel, and it was so much. We were just like, please stop. There was so much remakes and reboots and
it was.
rip-offs. It was like, holy shit. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
I think it was a waste of Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones, Kate McKinnon, where like
Hmm.
those women are so talented, are so funny. Like
For real.
they should be given either an original IP or original
Hmm.
movie because like again, Bridesmaids is fucking hilarious. It's so funny. The Heat is fucking
Oh yeah,
hilarious.
dude. The
Spy is
fucking
hilarious.
funny.
So funny, dude.
Wait,
It's
which
so
one's the
funny.
one she did with Sandra Bullock?
Oh, the
Heat, right?
Heat's fucking
Yeah,
hilarious,
Heat's
dude.
fucking funny as shit, man. Oh my
So
god.
funny, dude. The Heat is so funny. And I love Bridesmaid. I love Spy. But
Yeah.
it was like you got these really amazing actresses who are top of their game, comedic chops. You gotta give them good material. And I think the script was just like really messy. We're just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, and you're just like, oh man, because I also kind of feel like this. I think Sony was kind of like really pushing for like the reboots and remakes because of like they were still on the flop of like Spider-Man flopping still, unfortunately. And it's
Mm-hmm.
fun. And you know what? To this day too, you and me defend Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies to this
Hands
day.
down. I'm not no fake ass bandwagon hopping motherfucker. I have been day one Andrew Garfield. Day one. I have loved that man, Spider-Man. He is my Spider-Man. I will defend it. I will die on that fucking hill.
It was so funny too. I remember like when you, me, and TJ saw that second one in high school, we were like, "Oh, this is pretty good," and we got out the reviews. Were like, "Worst Spider-Man ever," and you, me, and TJ were like, "What?" You and
What?
TJ were like, "What?" And I get it. I don't. I think they're really super low. I think it's the lowest
Dude,
rated Spider-Man movie. But you and I were
they
like, "What?
they
What?"
hated the way Jamie Foxx looked, and I was like, I thought that was an interesting take on that
It was
villain, but
different. It
all
was
right,
different.
fuck me, like, like, yeah,
It was a different take, and I think they also again, people don't forget too. If it wasn't for that movie, we would have gotten No Way Home. That movie is
yeah,
really important for No Way Home. That movie is really
exactly.
important. That movie is really important for No Way Home. And people are like, "Oh, movie's so good, the worst Spider-Man ever." No, 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 it's not. No, it is not. And that
No,
movie, I will defend till I die. That movie is
yes,
good. That movie has a lot going on.
facts.
It has the best Spider-Man swinging out of all the movies too. That
Oh
opening
my
shot,
god.
dude. That 8 minutes of him swinging through the city, saving everybody is awesome.
It's a first person POV, isn't it?
Yes.
Or am I
Oh,
tripping?
dude. No,
Yeah,
no.
where he where he
The back of his
lands on the
costume. Yeah.
building and everything.
Yeah. The back of the
Yeah, where
costume, dude.
and he's looked at himself in the mirror or in the window and
That was
just
the first one. Yeah. That was the first one
that
has
was the
really good
first
swinging
one.
shots. So
The first one, dude, especially with the first one with the cranes. I love that scene. I
it's
was like, oh my
so
god.
good, dude. That's
I
Spider
was
Man.
like, bro, dude, that's Spider-Man.
It's
And
Spider Man.
he
Come
does
on, Spider Man.
Spider-Man so well because he's talking to himself, but he's it's like he's talking to the audience with them, but he's really talking to himself, and I love it. I love it. He's my Spider-Man, hands down. I will never like Andrew Garfield. I will forever love his Spider-Man.
Dude, I can literally watch those movies all the time, and I really will defend Amazing Spider-Man 2 till I die. Like that movie again, people have problems with it. Yes, I don't think Goblin should have been introduced in that movie. I think I
Oh,
will agree on
absolutely not.
I will agree on that for sure. But like that movie has a great character study between him and Gwen, as well as cinematography is amazing in that movie. But also too, it's like that was just a fun movie. But again, I remember all too well when that movie ended. You and me and T walked there, were like, it was pretty good. We checked flip on reviews. And all three of us were like, wait, what? Like, are we drunk? Like what, like, did we miss something here? We're like, this was a good movie. I remember people were like, this was pretty good. But there's so much hate for that movie, and I was like, man, you guys are seeing a different movie because, like I said, if it wasn't for Amazing Spider-Man 2, we would have gotten how great No Way Home is. And I'm like, we wouldn't
Yeah,
have gotten the arc of Andrew. We wouldn't got the redemption of Jimmy Fox. Like that movie, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is crucial to No Way Home. And I'm like, that's why I like it even more now because I'm like, that movie serves a purpose as a layup for No Way Home. And that's, believe it or
yeah,
not, that's how it is. But yeah, man. But anyway, so back to our Ghostbusters. You and I think I remember when they announced the sequel during like before COVID. You and I were like, okay, cool. They're going back to basics. They're going back to the original. Go back to the
yeah.
original storyline.
We
I like
were
this.
we were iffy as well because we were just
We were
like, oh
optimistic.
no, because the last one did absolute shit. Like
It
we
was a big
said,
flop.
it
It was a
was
big flop.
horrible movie. It was really bad. Um, but we're like, we'll see what this does because it. Yeah. Um, because it had Paul Rudd, who we thoroughly love wholeheartedly, and it had a lot good actors, and it just, what they were saying about it, it seemed genuine, and it seemed like, all right, this is really Ghostbusters, gonna be really honestly Ghostbusters. So, we gave it a try, and it turned out really, really good.
Really
And
good.
they killed it. That fucking shit was perfect.
To me too, I love that the guy who made that movie is the son of the original director. So Jason Reitman. So Ivan Reitman directed the first two. Also, a lot of movies too. I mean, he's been in a lot of great movies. A great producer too. So Jason Reitman, who also I adore, he made stuff like Juno, Up in the Air, Thank You for Smoking. Amazing movies. The Front Runner, great movies. I thought it was so cool that, hey, my dad is the filmmaker of the first two. I'm gonna do this one for his legacy, also because it's been part of my life too. I was a kid growing up on the set. I think it's a cameo in the second Ghostbusters too. I just love that. Hey, this was my dad's legacy. I'm doing it too. And unfortunately, his dad passed away like I think a month after the movie too, which is so kind of like sad, but also cathartic too. And I was like, I love that. You're picking up where your dad began 40 years, 30, 40 years ago. And I just love that about it. And then COVID pushed it back a lot because of the pandemic and lockdown. Theaters were closed. But I remember seeing this again, right? Optimistic. It was getting pretty good reviews. I'm like, hey, get Paul Rudd. And there was a rumor about the original guys being back in this, minus Hal Ramis because of his passing 10 years ago. And I remember, dude, I saw it for my birthday with my dad, and I was just like, man, I feel like a kid again. I was like, man, I had the biggest smile on my face. I had goosebumps because you know why? You and I talk about a lot how like, oh my god, the nostalgia is so being overdone, or it's another fucking remake or another reboot. This to me, that the last one, Afterlife, was a love letter to Ghostbusters, to us the fans. And again, dude, I felt like a kid again. I had goosebumps. I had the biggest smile on my face. I was like, this is why we love Ghostbusters so much. This is a very good story. You have good casting here. And again, it's been out 2.5 years now. Spoiler. You bring back the guys, but for a really important scene too. It wasn't like a cash grab. It was like you bring back Ernie Hudson, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and how they use the ghost of Harold Ramis was done so well. It was so tasteful too at the end.
The beginning, by the way, of not showing him,
smart,
but like showing him, they did it. The execution was perfect for his character.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
It was done with so much love and so much grace to the original franchise, stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh man, this is special. And again, I'm gonna watch it again recently. I think I have it on Blu-ray. The past year I bought it. To me, I was like, this is why we love Ghostbusters. This is nostalgia done right, but it had a purpose. So with that said, trailer came out yesterday, and Ghostbusters, what, like Empire of the Free, something like that?
Yeah, Empire of the
Frozen?
Frozen Death or something like that.
Frozen Empire. Frozen Empire. There we go. All right. So again, they do set up a sequel at the end of the last one with Ernie Hudson and everything. I'll let you go first. What were your thoughts of the trailer overall? Are you looking forward to it? Where do you stand on this right now?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. It looks interesting. I like the concept.
Okay.
2, for the first one, they went a tiny bit dark, like a little Pinky in the Water dark, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It worked really perfectly. So this one seems to go into a little darker because it does. It has to do with kids and facing the fact of death itself, because people are dying, which I truly do like. So the concept of it is very interesting. They still have Paul Rudd. They still have the original actors shown.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be an entertaining movie, but like you said the other day, I don't want this to become a thing, but I understand what they're trying to do, which is, I think that, I'm tired of remakes. I'm tired of, like, all right, cool, we're going to keep doing this, blah, blah, blah. But it's like I really don't like that. But I can understand what they're doing, which is I think personally they're trying to pass the torch on for the next generation. You know, like Seth Rogen with Ninja Turtles, where it's like, all right, here's this new one for the next generation. So this movie is for the next generation, and they're passing the torch. And so I don't know how much more. Hopefully, like they don't really do too crazy with this, but I can understand it. I think it might be an entertaining movie. We'll see what happens because the way the first one did. I think the movie could be truly good. I can't say how well or how good it'll be, but I think it does have potential. So it's caught my interest, not as much as the first one, but it definitely caught my interest to be like, I'll definitely check this out. Yeah.
Yeah. No, dude, I think you said it spot on, dude. I think you and I were very eye to eye yesterday about the trailer. We're like, yeah, during our voice messages, we're like, yeah, this is great about this podcast tomorrow. Yeah, I'm intrigued by it. I do again. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Again optimistic. I'm optimistic for sure. I do wish that Jason Reitman was doing this one as well. I know he's producing and writing it, but I think that I would have had more confidence if he directed this one. So his co-writer of the last Ghostbusters Afterlife, Gil Keenan, he's doing this one. He's taking over the head. So okay, so you had the writer of the last one who's very involved with the movie. On the last one, he's doing this one. He's taking over the turn. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Sorry, keep going.
No. Go ahead. I insist. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say a little comment. I keep interrupting. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay, bro. This is the show, man.
Yeah. Which is like that means that he can understand, the original directors, the what's his
partners.
name? Yeah, they're partners. So he can understand his direction within it. So, he's still in it. So, that's really good. So but I understand what you're saying.
So yeah, and also it is kind of sad that Ivan Reitman passed away a couple of years ago, right after the Ghostbusters Afterlife came out, which is like so sad. Like, you saw your son produce your legacy, basically direct your legacy of of Ghostbusters, and then he passed away right after, which is like kind of really sad. But I think his son did. I think his son made him really proud, if you ask me. So I'm like, okay, cool. So so Frozen Empire, you got. This guy, co-writer of Afterlife is directing this one, but you still got Jason Reitman, who did the last one, who's the son of the original director, writing and producing it. I'm like, okay, there's still family tied to this franchise, which is very good. And I like that Jason Reitman, the son, has the rights to the franchise now. Like, this is mine. Like, I still have the rights to the franchise. My dad's being gone. I own the franchise now. And I feel like, given his track record as a filmmaker, that he wouldn't do this for a cash grab. Or I would hope he doesn't do that, but
no, like if you want to keep it in the family, I feel like you would do it because it's just like you truly believe in this, and like to do the original movie the way he did, and then be like, all right, cool, fucking money, I feel like that, like has someone like obviously they must have had him and his father must have had a close relationship, so huge. I feel like internally, like if he truly didn't believe in it and this was just a cash grab, like that would truly like hurt him inside. So I don't think this is that, I
don't think so either. I think this can be a love letter to his dad as well. Because again, his dad was on set, produced the last one. Now he's gone. I feel like this is going to be a love letter to Ivan Reitman, the original director of the first two, who also produced the last one. So I think so. Again, I think also too. I think I trust Paul Rudd enough to not pick shitty movies anymore. I feel like that era was kind of like gone and been there, done that. And I like that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna make a joke saying that vampire doesn't want to like live 100 years later and be like, oh god.
Right.
I was at the top of my career and I fucked up.
I would not be like, oh man, I'm doing this shit. But also too, you get the same cinematographer, you get the same editors, you get the same people involved, just different director, but yet the son is still writing and producing it. To me, I'm like, okay, I feel like the love is still gonna be there. It's still gonna be a decent movie. Also too, they're also utilizing Dan Aykroyd, I think, a bit more, Ernie Hudson. and Bill Murray, of course. I'm so glad they bring back Bill Murray. Like, oh, is he gonna bring him back? He's bringing him back. I would love though to see the OG receptionist come back because she was in it briefly the last one. She was a little cameo in the last one as well.
Yeah, hopefully they bring her back for this one as well.
And they gotta bring back Rick Moranis. They
Oh
gotta bring
yes,
back Rick Moranis. They
I
have
think they
to. They
will.
have to.
They
They
have
have to.
to. I
They
think they
have to.
will. They think they will. They have to. I think they really will because it's not a movie without. It's not a
Yeah.
Ghostbusters movie without him.
I know he retired from acting. I know he did. But that would be so fucking amazing if they bring him back. Did they bring him back, dude? Oh
Please
my
be in
god.
this. Just for even if
Cameo,
it's
who
just for
cameo?
one little scene, if it's just him looking up at the sky or something or watching it, there's just something
You
like
see him.
please let him be in this because I want to see him so badly.
I hope so. I think you and I both agreed on this too yesterday. We said this has to be the last one. This has to be the last one. End it.
Because
End it.
yeah,
They have to, dude. I feel like you and I both said like if they do more than this, like this definitely that's for sure cash grab. Like, oh, we're gonna milk this franchise. And also too, I told you in our audio message, I was saying that I'm a bit worried because this past year and a half, these legacy sequels, no one's seeing them. No one's watching them. Like no one's going to see them. They've been flopping in the box office. So my hope is that people love the last one, Afterlife, so much, and they have a love for Ghostbusters so much that they're going to see this one. And I hope, and I think also too with the strike ending too, that we need new movies in theaters. I really, really hope they release it at the right time, but also like there's still a fan base for this because I feel like if it flops, it's good. I feel like if it flops, you and I might be like, we're not surprised. If it's good too, and it flops, I think you and I might be like, oh, we're disappointed by it. But
yeah. But and then it really depends on how it flops. If people just didn't see it and it's a good movie, we'll be disappointed that people didn't watch it at least. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because that did happen to Blade Runner, which me and you were both so heartbroken over.
So heartbroken, bro.
But if it's not a good movie, then we'll be disappointed within, the movie itself, like the writers and everything. But again, if people just didn't go see it, then we'll just be disappointed within, moviegoers and fans of, Ghostbusters. Because if it does turn out to be a really good movie, that's just going to be like, oh, come on, guys. Like, keep this legend going. Well, keep this legacy going, not within the movie. It's like a third or fourth one, you know what I mean? But more of just like, watch it and appreciate for what they've done so far into keeping it Ghostbusters, the ones we grew up watching and loving. And to, show this new generation that this movie's still fucking great, even made as a remake or, or a sequel, the trilogy, yeah,
dude. This is gonna be a 4 film franchise minus the reboot with the remake with Kristen Wiig and the ladies.
One in the middle is not canon, guys. It's not canon. We're never gonna talk about that again. It's like the weird uncle you never really talk about coming to Thanksgiving. We don't mention that one.
Yeah. We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to. Okay, so it's supposed to come out March 2024. I don't think it's gonna happen because you and I talked about. You, me, and Nick talked about a few months ago on the podcast with the strike ending. Everything was delayed till March. I bet you it moves.
That is a possibility. It really depends on how long they've been filming, how they got done at this point in time. Yeah, because they did bring out a trailer this early,
ready to go.
months before March. So I say that there is a possibility that can still come out, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did push it back.
Because that same weekend, you got Godzilla vs. Kong, the new one. You got the new Robert Pattinson movie that's from the guy who made Parasite. Everyone wants to see that. Also, which is a big studio movie.
What movie is that?
It's called Mickey. It's called Mickey 17. It's Mark Ruffalo, Robert Pattinson, Stephen Yeun, Naomi Ackie. It's from the guy who made Parasite, won the Best Picture for Parasite. But also, it's a big studio movie from Warner Brothers, like a huge budget movies from Warner Brothers same days.
Dude.
So WB has 2 movies on the same day. Okay, for sure one of them is moving for sure.
They have to move that. That's
You
not
can't
a
have
good
2 movies
idea.
the same day for the studio. That's
Yeah,
stupid.
you can't.
That's so
real
stupid.
dumb. That's real stupid. No, they gotta move that.
Because Disney does that. Disney does that all the time. Disney does that all the time. Where like one week you have Marvel, next week Star Wars or Pixar or whatever. That's so dumb. And now with 20th Century Studios and they own Fox, you're competing with yourself. And that's so dumb.
That's not a good idea.
I bet you for sure one of them moves. Okay, let's check again. This is again March 29th. Here we go. Let's see. All right, so same weekend is Godzilla vs. Kong 2.
Which is a big competition to go against.
Huge competition.
Because they've been doing really well.
And you also have, same weekend, Godzilla vs. Kong, I said, part 2, Kung Fu Panda 4.
Ooh, I love
which is a huge. People love that franchise. They're still doing really well.
I love Kung Fu Panda. Not gonna lie, I love that shit.
Dude.
I watch Kung Fu Panda all the time. I love that shit.
It's so fucking good, dude.
That third one, bro, had me
fire, bro.
Fire. Hit me in the soul. I was like, oh, like, yeah, I mean,
fire.
Like,
it hits you in the fucking feels, bro. Hits you in the fucking feels. I could not agree more. So you have that. That's 2 movies already. Like I said, the Robert Pattinson, Bong Joon-ho movie together, which is a big Warner Brothers studio movie. Same weekend. And you also have M. Night Shyamalan's new movie coming out the same weekend as well. So you got 5 big movies. I'm not going to lie. I'll say this. I think Kung Fu Panda stays, personally. Mm-hmm. I think Godzilla Kong moves another weekend for sure. Possibly, and you know what? I think Ghostbusters moves too.
I hope Ghostbusters moves. I don't think that's a good. I think Ghostbusters should come out on its own. I truly do.
I agree. I would move it to either summer.
Which would be a good summer movie.
Great summer movie. Oh, great summer movie. Or, the last one came out on my birthday, November of 2021, and made a lot of money. You could bring it back there too, because they've had success now in the November, fall, winter area with that movie, and people showed up for that movie too. And that was before Spider-Man: No Way Home came out. So I feel like I do think you and I both agree that I think the summertime might be better. But it wouldn't surprise me if they go, you know what, we're gonna put it out in November again. It wouldn't surprise me, but I definitely think you and I think summer would be the better option.
Summer would be a better option because they brought out the trailer now. Yeah, I feel like it'd be way too long of a wait. It's not like a teaser trailer; it's an actual trailer. I feel like that would be way too long of a wait. Yeah. So summer would be great. It'd be dope if they bring it out on my birthday, June 28th.
Let me see. Let me see.
My birthday, first year birthday is my birthday. You know what I mean? That would be pretty. And it's close enough.
Guess what's coming out on your birthday? Actually, June 28th, 2024. A Quiet Place Day 1.
Oh, you're lying.
Yes, June 28th.
Don't bring it out on my birthday.
How about a week before? A week before. 2 weeks before,
yeah. 2 weeks before a week before, yeah. That'll be fine. But Quiet Place on my birthday, oh my God, John Krasinski, you heard me. You love me,
bro. He heard you.
He heard about my fandom. He heard about how fangirl I got about the first one and the second one. So
yeah.
Oh my God. They listened.
Listen, they heard you. We got you, boy. We got you, homie. Listen, we got you.
They found out my birthday without me even bringing it up on here. What the fuck?
Thank you.
All right.
So that's. I bet you. Yeah, I think you and I are very confident that moves to the summer. I think that's a very good summer movie. And also, despite the thing of in the trailer too, is like they're on the beach, it's hot out there, and then the freeze happened. That's like perfect. It's a summer movie.
And June and July, I'd say honestly more June is like the hottest fucking month.
Oh my God, dude!
Summer.
Totally,
dude. I'm a summer baby, and I fucking hate it.
It's warm,
so that would work really well.
Yeah, I bet you would move to summer. I think you're right, Joe. I think you're right. I think it definitely gonna move to June to summertime because it's definitely a bigger. It's definitely a
I
bigger.
think I think June is a good month because high schoolers are getting out and slash graduating.
Yeah,
May, yeah, May college kids got out, and then June is the month that people are planning to travel, and then they're traveling at the end of June slash beginning of July.
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
So that's a good time for them to bring that movie out.
Yeah. No, you fuck, man. You on the nose, man. Spot on. I think that's gonna be. I think you're right. I think you called it right. I think, but I hope you get credit for that too. If that moves, I'm gonna be like, you heard it here first. Joe said it first. Joe said it first. Y'all have this,
Joe
man.
said first. Everyone, if it comes
Yeah.
out in June, if they push it back in June,
Joe was right.
hashtag
Joe
Joe
was
said
right.
first. Yeah.
Joe said first. Joe said it first.
Joe said
Said
first, yeah. Hashtag Joe
Yeah.
said first on everything, on the
Yeah.
trailer, everything, and then bring
On the fucking
attention to this
trailer.
podcast and have more people listen to me because I'm always right.
Yeah. When the fuck am I wrong?
Bitch, I'm always right. I'm like
Right.
your girlfriend.
I told you, motherfucker. I told you.
I'm your podcast girlfriend. I'm always right.
Right.
Never
I seen
wrong.
it.
Don't always argue with me. Don't argue with me. Oh god.
Oh man. And so before I think you close this out, I want to say this too. I was never the biggest Friends fan. Again,
I grew up
we've been
on
gone. I know you have. I know you have. And I feel bad because we've been gone the past couple of weeks because of people in town. I wasn't feeling good, stuff like that. And we didn't cover this the last few episodes because we were gone. You're right. You were a Friends fan. I grew up on 17 again with Zac Efron and Matthew Perry, which was a big part of my childhood. That movie was like on repeat for me. I love that movie so much. But yeah, I wanted to address the fact that we lost Matthew Perry, the great Matthew Perry, at 54, man, which is very young. Which is very too young, if you ask me. A lot left to live. You grew up. So you grew up on Friends. When you heard the news, like, what was your thought process, man? Like, what you think about this? Like, what are your thoughts overall on his legacy as an actor, but also someone who kind of like gave it back to like help sobriety, help people that were going through the same struggles as him? What were your thoughts about this?
So I was still at Danny's house, and Danny just says like, "Oh, Matthew Perry died." I was like, "What the fuck?" And so I was like, so I Googled it, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like really heartbroken because I grew up. I really did. I loved Friends. Friends is hilarious, and Matthew Perry's character is just, is to me one of the funniest characters on it. A lot of people talk about Joey, but Matthew Perry's, he was a sarcastic, just like funny friend that had a lot of trauma. And like Matthew Perry was in love with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah,
throughout the whole thing, and I was in love with Jennifer Aniston growing up as well, because like, dude, she's still so fine. Anyways, but I feel like a lot of people, whether they're my age or older, and even like some of the younger people that are younger, like new generation, that was one of the shows that just like spanned several generations, and a lot of people grew up on it. So I feel like a lot of people were very heartbroken about it. And I was heartbroken. I was like, damn. And that really did hit. I was like, that was real sad. You saw me make a few posts on my story on Instagram. So,
yeah. Dude, yeah. Because I remember, like, so I remember when Liam and Grant were in town, we were getting back from the pool, and we're getting ready for our Halloween party, and I was like, my phone went off a couple times, like the news alert, whatever, Instagram alert. It was like, Matthew Perry found dead, drowned, 54. I was like, what? Yeah. I was like, wow. Like, again, Matthew Perry, like I said, Friends was Friend still is too, a very big part of so many people's lives, and was big part of people's lives, no matter what race you were, if you were male or female, like whatever. That show was a big part of people. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me personally, but like I know, including yourself, a lot of people, that was a big part of people's lives. That show was on for like forever, and the show was a big part of people growing up, their upbringing, what streaming, whatever. Also, that show was, honestly, when Netflix had it, was like the biggest show ever watched. It was original. It was like one of the shows that been out for years. But the people that had Netflix wanted to watch Friends, then The Office, then Parks and Rec, all that jazz. You're just like, wow, man. So, but except to me, man, I remember 17 again was a movie that I was obsessed with when I was like sixth grade, middle school. Like, oh my God, like Zac Efron was so cool. Had the cool jacket, had the cool car, had the cool, aviator, Ray-Bans, whatever. But like that, he was a big part of that movie too, obviously, because it's his story. And it's like, wow, man, like it's a really big loss. But also too is that I was reading about an article about him the other day. It was like he wanted to be remembered, not just for friends, that hey, he had a lot of problems with addiction and alcoholism, unfortunately, which is a very real disease, very real thing people go through every day. But he said, I want to be known for people that I help people too. Because you see, his memoir or his last couple of years, he was really big on saying, hey, if you need help, I got you. I'm here for you. And as an actor, but as a person in general, that's a very admirable that, hey, you know what? That giving you the helping hand no matter what you're going through, whether it's really bad alcoholism or addiction or whatever, he was willing to give a helping hand. I thought it was very kind of like him. That's his legacy. He goes, you know what? I don't want to be remembered for friends. Yes, it's my most famous thing I ever did, obviously, but I want to be remembered for helping people and giving people a second chance and help. I think it was very, very heroic of him too. So we want to, again, dedicate this end of the show to the great Matthew Perry, man, 54 years old, man. Thank you for your great legacy of what you've done, everything you've done for people in general, but also for your huge stamp on pop culture, because it will definitely live on forever.
Yeah, definitely.
With that said, my friend, you want to close out with our one and ones as you always do?
Yes, sir. All right. For the new people who decide to listen to the latest episode first, welcome. Welcome. So the one-on-ones is basically where each of us recommend one movie and one show that we hope that you guys will at least put on your movie show watch list. And, we don't expect you to watch it now or tomorrow or with next week. We just hope like somewhere down the line where you're just scrolling through something and you're just like, oh, hey, this movie, and you watch it. Hopefully giving us credit if you do recommend it to other people. And, just,
Please.
Please, yes, let people pass. And, you, whether you enjoy it or hate it, are open to sharing your thoughts on what you think about our recommendations. All right. So as always, Doug, you go first.
Thank you, my good sir. Oh man, there's been a lot of stuff I've been kind of just thinking about this past couple of weeks. I'm like, man, been on one in a while. I think I have things to bring up. And I've been kind of watching a lot of movies from 2018 for some reason, like Overlord and mid 90s, Stars Born and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I'm in a really weird 2018 era right now of filmmaking. But there's a movie that I absolutely love so much that came out about 10 years ago that you and I saw when we were in high school, that I feel like is so slept on because it has a really big star that he is now. This movie is 21 and over. Dude, I'm watching Twilight for the first time with Zeta, right? And I was like, oh shit, Jeff Chang played by Justin Chan's in this movie. I was like, yo, I fucking love 21 and over. Oh my god, I love this man. He's so good in that movie.
Yeah.
He's so good in that. Like, oh my god, I love this man. 21 and over. Tim. So when we were growing up, like. You heard in the beginning of the show, in other episodes, me and Joe were like, any kind of movie came out, we're seeing it. Drama, action, comedy, not so much horror, thriller, drama, everything. We would see everything minus horror. And we love goofy comedies because, like, whether it was stuff like The Watch or That's My Boy or Ted, Project X, whatever, like, these movies were kind of just like, oh, we laugh a good time and kind of really feel good comedies. I feel like, years later that era of kind of like goofy kind of rated R comedies are kind of dying out because comedies are not selling as well in theaters anymore or the streaming. But like I'm looking like we grew up in an era of that, like we had a lot of cool funny rated R movies in theaters no matter what. So I remember like you, me, we had a squad of people, dude. Oh my god, it was opening weekend. We were hyped for this movie. Also the same weekend as the infamous Party Story that we I'll bring up. But we were hyped for this movie. It's the guys who made guys who wrote The Hangover. It's guys who produced Project X, and we're like, oh, this movie's gonna be fucking hilarious. Young Miles Teller, Skylar Astin, Justin Chon. Like, oh my god, 21 Over basically is kind of like a version of The Hangover where three best friends who were in college, about to be done with college. These two guys, played by Miles Teller and Skylar Astin, they visit their best friend in Washington, who's the night before his big medical school interview on his 21st birthday. And their friend Jeff Chang is like, I can't go out, man. My dad's a fucking tight ass. You know, he set this interview for me. If I miss this, my life is fucked. I'm screwed. But also, it's the 21st birthday, and we all know 21st birthday, the year that you're legal, you go to the bars finally, you can drink like hell yeah. And luckily that my 21st birthday, Joel was there and made it like hella special, kind of almost like the movie in a way, but not as crazy. You didn't lose me, I didn't lose you. It wasn't too insane, but yeah. It's, to me, this movie means a lot to me because of like how you were there for my 21st birthday, and it's just kind of that era of like, you know, bromance and friendship, male friendships, how important it is to be there for their birthdays. So the movie's basically like, so they basically, the two guys take him out on his 21st birthday, the eve of his medical school interview, and they get fucked up. They get fucked up to a point where he's like blacked out. They didn't know where he lives, how to get home. They're on a brand new campus that they're not familiar with, and it's a fucking night of just like, how do we get him home? How do we find people that knows where he lives? And it's craziness, it's bonkers, it's shenanigans, and these guys go through so much shit. Cops, frats, weirdo people that throw these kind of weird parties again, like drinking milk at like 2 a.m, but drinking still more beer, whatever. It's crazy, dealing with sorority sisters and crazy frat boys. And you know, their friend's dad was a big tight ass looking for him at the same night. It's a wild movie, but I absolutely love this movie. It means so much to me. It means a lot to me. I mean, growing up, because I remember seeing this movie with you, Joe, and the boys growing up. We had a great time. We were laughing our asses off. It was so funny. It's also the same movie that our friend TJ at the time texted us, and he had, I think he had a sprained ankle or broken ankle at the time, whatever. And it was like a lot of us, because he missed school that day. And we, you know, back in the day, we used to mob from school to the movie theater every Friday, because, you know, it's movie Friday, new release Friday. We're going to the movies. We hop on the bus. We're at local theater. We were there. And I remember, like, you, me, Carlos, Gift Given, you know, Josh, Eduardo, David, everyone's there. And he goes, hey, y'all saw the movies? And we were like, yeah. He goes, should I come up? And you and me both texted him saying, in our group chat at the time, we were like, no, it's ending in 5 minutes. Don't come up. Don't come up. Don't come up. The movie's ending. The movie is ending. And we were like, dude, don't spend the $12 to come up. We'll be there in 5 minutes, right? The movie's ending, you know.
Cheap, by the way.
Back in the day. It's $12 back in the day.
We used to complain about it. Now we miss
we shouldn't say shit. We can't say shit. We can't say shit. And I remember you and I were like, okay, come up. And we're up there. All we hear is platoon, platoon, platoon. I'm like, wait, what's coming up the stairs? And sure enough, it's TJ. And Joe, you go, bro, the movie's ending. We sit downstairs. And he goes, I want to see what happens. And all of us were like,
didn't he come in when the credits were starting to roll or something?
Like 5 minutes before. 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes before the movie's ending. It's like, it was the end where like the scene where, like,
that's when he texted us. I thought he came in.
Because he came in that scene where he goes, man, fuck your laptop, bitch, get a desktop. And we were what? Or he goes, yeah, man, fuck me, man. And we were like, what?
Oh, yeah. Fuck him up, Randy. Yeah, fuck me, Randy. I mean, fuck him up, Randy.
We were like, wait, what? And he was there like he's laughing because DJ was laughing his ass off. And we're like, T, you don't know the fucking context of the movie, bro. You missed the entire build up to the scene. Like, you missed it.
For real. We're like, TJ, we told you to wait downstairs. It's ending.
The movie's ending. And literally the movie ends. And he was like, y'all want to stay for the next showing? And we're like, bro, it's like 10 p.m. It's like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
We can't go to bed, bro.
I'm going home, bro.
Yeah, man,
I had to take the bus home. That's when I was going back to my mom's too. So I was like, no.
You and I, we hop on the Grand bus. We went back. Yeah, you and I both on the bus. The Given came with us too, and we were like, no, bro, it's 10 p.m. bro. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We're going to bed. We're tired. Because I think we missed the beginning showtime because it was like at the school with the Mickey D's. We came back for the later showtime, but it was kind of like, again, it was end of the day basically.
And we weren't staying at David's that night either.
No, we weren't. The next day we were. So anyway, I love that movie so much. It's a really movie that I adore so much. I mean, it has a really low fucking Rotten Tomatoes score. I'm like, fuck it, I love that movie so much because I have a great memory of that movie.
It's such a great movie.
It's so underrated, bro. It's so underrated.
So underrated.
Young Miles Teller, young Skylar Astin. I love that movie so much, and it's so funny.
Facts.
So I own that movie on Blu-ray proudly. I love that movie, dude. I had to fucking track that on Blu-ray so much because that shit was out of print. 'Cause no one bought that movie, no one saw it. I own that movie so in my collection. It's a proud movie I own, but like it means a lot to me because the memory that I had with you and the homies back then of like us laughing at the movies together when we were in high school before all the bullshit, before responsibilities kicked in, stuff like that. So I love that movie. For my show of the week, ooh, that's a very good question. Man, oh man. You know what? Why not? I'm watching right now. I'm gonna go with "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia" because this movie is fucking hilarious. The show is
You
fucking
mean show?
hilarious. The show is fucking hilarious. A show that cannot be made today. I mean, it's still making it today, but like the earlier seasons would not be made today. Would not be made, unfortunately. I mean, not fly by today. But I love the low budget humor. I love that these guys kind of wrote the show themselves. They betted on themselves too. Like the show is still going on. I think it's like 20 years later. The show's still going on. It's the most longest ran sitcom ever in television history. I haven't watched any of the recent stuff in the past couple of years, but like the first like 8 seasons are fucking like hilarious.
Are
Charlie Day,
fucking gold. And
it's so funny, dude.
they have a podcast where they
I
talk
seen
about
it,
the
yeah.
episodes and everything and like what went into it. And yeah, it's fucking hilarious, man.
It's
They're
so
overall
funny.
just funny. And the guy who plays Mac is married to Dee. That's
Yeah,
his wife. Yeah.
who also co-owns a fucking soccer team with Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds.
Ryan
Which
Reynolds,
is
yes,
what the
sir.
fuck?
Which, by the way, 2 seasons of their show talking about
It's
that.
great. It's a great
Oh
show.
yeah, I haven't watched it, but
No, my dad
I'm
loves that show.
impressed.
It's great. It's a really good. It's a
Really
really good
nice.
show. I gotta watch it. But yeah. So anyway, yeah. But so it's Philadelphia. These shenanigans these guys go through, and D goes through in Philadelphia. They own a bar. They own a bar in kind of South Philly, not the best area, and they
And
go through
like
some wild shit.
they're childhood friends, right? Or no?
I think so because
Yeah,
I think so
I
because
think.
the show has been like they were working on the show for like
Yeah, they talk
years.
about like, oh, like you've been in love with that girl since high school, blah blah blah. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure they're childhood friends. Yeah,
friends.
they're all childhood
Yeah,
friends.
friends. And then Danny DeVito comes in second season for like the playing their dad. It's playing D
Yeah.
and Danny Dennis's dad. And man, it's a show. It's so they're so despicable, but it's so funny. And Charlie Day's fucking shut the fuck up. The craziness. It's so
Yeah.
funny. I tell you it's
Oh,
done. Well, I tell you what's done. He's fucking unhinged, bro. And it's like they're
oh,
all
dude.
unhinged.
Charlie, dude, is my favorite. So fucking hilarious, dude. His character just I die laughing, especially when it comes to his uncle. Just like, boys will be boys. And like, no, uncle, boys will
No.
not be boys. Men will be men. Talking about creepy uncles. There we
Funny,
go.
dude.
Charlie's uncle, man. Oh my god.
It's
Remember when we
so
used to sleep over? I remember that I didn't like it. Like some
yeah,
shit like that.
oh my god, dude.
Oh, dude. And then Danny
It's
DeVito if you don't know the show, you probably have seen this meme where Danny DeVito goes, so I just start blasting.
blasting, yeah.
This is his character in the show. That's where that comes from. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Fucking give it a watch. Danny DeVito's fucking hilarious. It's
Hilarious.
fucking great, and he's just such an amazing person. Like I love him. Oh my god.
My favorite episode is the Charlie writes a musical. You
Oh yeah.
gotta pay the trolls toll to get to the boys' hole. That's not my fucking lyrics. Like, wait, what? Whose boys' hole? What the fuck? And it's so absurd, but like, it's 20-minute episodes. They're all on Hulu. Like, there's so many
Very
seasons too.
great.
But the first like the first 8 seasons are fucking like literally prime comedy that you will laugh no matter what, and it's so funny. But yeah, I love that show so much. So again, my movie this week is 21 and over. Which I want to say, let's see, where can you find that movie? I would hope you can find it somewhere, but I think it was. No one else know the movie but us, unfortunately. Now you can rent it on Amazon for $3. So if you rent it, awesome. You can buy it, even better. Love that movie. And my show of the week is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But you, my friend, what about you?
My one-on-ones?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, these are new. These are very,
Oh, here
very
we
new.
go.
Two new things, yes. Both on Netflix. One is the first one I'm going to be recommending is a movie called Ballerina. It's a Korean action film. Now, it's a really good film. You know how I love my Asian action films.
You
I
do.
really do love them. They do so well because they do what John Wick does, which is show exhaustion perfectly. If you watch a lot of other action movies, they'll go through a lot of shit within an hour and it'd be like hardly breaking a sweat. You know what I'm saying? But with like Korean, like with Asian films, they do really well with liminal spaces, with action, surrealism, and talk about a lot of things such as trafficking and, you know, drugs and other stuff like this and death and like blackmail. So because those things are big with those are real big like issues within the world. I personally don't know how big they are within the Asian countries, but they do bring them up a lot in Asian films, so I feel like it has to really be an issue. um but Ballerina is about a woman whose friend contacts her and says, "Hey, can we hang out?" Blah blah blah, and she leaves her a little note saying, "Get revenge for me," because she dies. And her friend comes in and she's dead in the bathtub, and there's a little gift on the bed, and she opens it and it's ballerina slippers because the woman in the bath was a ballerina. And she says, and there's a little note that says, "Get revenge for me." And so she does, like, she starts looking into, like, what happened to her friend and, like, why this could have happened and aims to get revenge. It's a really good film, a really good, strong female lead. Uh, has a female lead. The character's badass, really good, and it's just overall such a great movie. Um, oh, you son of a bitch! Sorry.
No. It was on Netflix, shit, right?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I
I'll
heard
just
it.
say
No.
it.
I heard it. I heard it was on. I heard it was the top 10 of the week last week when I saw when I was on Netflix. I was like, oh shit, because why? Because the John Wick movie's coming out also called Ballerina, and I was like, this isn't the same movie, is it? But no, it was different. It was a Korean film instead. Which I'm like, okay,
Yeah, it's a Korean
gotcha.
film, not in the same world. I'm gonna say. I believe she is the actress. I don't know. Don't. So yeah, there's a lot of great actors in it. It's a really great film, really written so well. It keeps you captivated. The cinematography, the characters, the fighting, just like how crazy it is. I truly do love Asian films. This is one of those films that I loved. I watched it when not too long ago. It came out like October 5th, and I think I watched it like a week later or something. I loved it. I really did. I think it's a really good film. If you like action movies and Asian cultures and you just love, Asian films, this is a really good one. I highly recommend it. So again, on Netflix. Now, time for the TV show. This one is a TV show, Doug, I think you will really love
Yeah.
because it is original, it is new, and it is super fucking creative. Me and Danny watched the show together. It's called Bodies.
I've
Um,
heard of this. Okay. Okay.
it is a show. It's so good, dude. You gotta put it on your watch list. It's really good. It is a show about four different detectives in four different years, and I mean years, like 1943 or 45 is one of them. And then one from earlier, like 19 or 18, like 90, some shit like that. And then like the next one is 2023, which is our current year, and then one in the future, which is like 2050 something. I forget. But basically, 4 different time eras, 4 different detectives, one body in the same alley in London. They're all trying to. Yeah, dude. And it's not like one episode is this time and then another episode is this time. Like, they break it down really well. And it's so fucking good because the mystery and the twists in it are fucking fantastic. You're not going to be able to fucking predict this for shit. It is so good. I think they did such a great job with it. It is honestly like it's what you've been looking for, Doug. Like creativity, originality, like great acting, great writing. Overall, fucking fantastic show. Honestly, I give it 5 stars.
Oh shit,
5
that's
stars.
high praise.
When Netflix used to do the star rating, 5 stars, hands down.
Fuck,
5
okay.
fucking stars. This show is such a great show, and I do give like the UK really good like props because they do good shows like this.
They do.
They really do. And so this 5 stars.
All right.
Old school Netflix rating 5 stars. It's such a really good fucking show. I highly recommend you watch it. It is amazing, great writing, great acting, great cinematography, everything, and it works. It makes sense and it works. They did it so fucking well. Highly recommend.
I like the guy in it, the guy who plays Mannix in it. I'm on IMDb right now. The guy who plays Mannix. He was in Snatch. He plays Statham's kind of like right hand guy when it comes to boxing with fucking Brad Pitt. And he's also in oh shit, he was the last Venom movie. He played the cop in the last Venom movie. He was really good in Rocket Man. He was really good in Rocket Man. And also he played the guy again. It wasn't the best movie, but in The Irishman, remember he was the guy that was fucking late to the meeting with Al Pacino. He goes, "You're fucking late." He goes, "Yeah, fuck you, whatever." And fucking Pacino fucking beats the shit out of him, whatever.
Oh yeah.
His name is Stephen Graham. And when I was in London in my semester abroad, I watched a lot of movies and shows with him in it because of my classes that I was taking. He's a fucking phenomenal actor. He's so underrated. But I saw him in the poster. I was like, "Ooh, I love this guy." And now hearing you liked it, I'm definitely watching it now. I
really like Jacob Fortune Lloyd, who plays D.S. Whiteman. I really like him. He's a really good actor in this. But overall, all the actors and actresses all together, they all did such a phenomenal job. They really did. Stephen Graham kills it.
Love him.
By the way, he kills it. So overall, just so good. Everyone they picked is really, really good, and I really love this show. And I know you will love this. You have to watch it. Z will love this, by the way.
Yeah,
Z will definitely love this. Tell Z that it comes from her bestie, me, and I'm telling her to fucking watch it. She will truly love it.
All right, I'm watching this for sure. I'm definitely watching this. I love that look on the cast right now. Is that like except for Stephen Graham? I don't know anyone in the show. They didn't cast like Robert Pattinson or Florence Pugh, stuff like that. It's unknown actors. I like that.
Unknown actors.
I love
that.
And
the guy who I just talked about, he's been in a few films. He was in the show Queen's Gambit, by the way, which I truly love. He was also, it turns out, in Star Wars. I don't know if he was like a little back character. I don't know.
Oh, he's a background character. Yeah, I see right now.
Yeah, he's a background.
Yeah.
So he's a background character, but like I'm glad he's a really good actor, and so he did really well in this show, and hopefully I see him in a lot more things because he's really good. I really like this character.
Oh shit! No, he's in a movie that me and Z watched a year or two ago on Netflix. Oh yes, I've seen him before and stuff. Yes. He's
really good. He's really good.
Cool. I'm definitely watching this. Yeah, I love me a good British show. Reminded me of my days when I was in London. So I'm definitely watching this. Thanks for the recommendation, man. I'm hyped to watch this now. I'm sold. I'm sold, man. That pitch was really good. I'm sold. Yeah, again, and that's like I love I love. Oh, that's cool. It's based on a graphic novel. I didn't know that. Um,
Yeah,
that's cool. But also, I like
I
that.
gotta get myself that graphic novel.
Oh,
Not gonna
I
lie.
bet. Dude, I think you would love it. It sounds like you would love it. I like that.
Yeah,
It's four Texas and four different parents. Yeah, I love it kind of like sort of that like different. They kind of takes place over different generations of shit too. I know.
yeah.
I love that shit. So, fuck yeah, dude. Dude. All right. Okay, Joe. You will come in with the clutch ass 101 still week. I am hyped to watch the show Bodies now, man. I am like,
Thank you.
I'm hyped. I'm hyped. All right, brother. Take us home, my boy. Take us home.
All right, Doug, where can they find you?
As always, guys, you can find me on my personal page on Instagram, which is the Young Jones, as well as my Twitter or X it's called now, Capri_Sun SON. Also, you can find the show and the podcast as well on Instagram at Midway Avenue Productions, all one word, as well as TikTok, also at Midway Avenue Productions. We're posting a lot more kind of reactions and kind of like updates on the episodes on there, mostly on Instagram, but also on TikTok. And also the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions. You can find the audio version of the show. And also we do our reactions on there as well.
Yes, sir. All right. You can find me on Twitch at the OG Cuban Rican, and you can also find that link to my Twitch on our link tree at the Midway Avenue Production Instagram. Uh, I do stream as much as I can. I recently started playing Rainbow Six Siege again, and I've gotten a little better. So, you can watch me be sweaty and rage, or you can watch me and my friends play Darktide or Minecraft. I do play Siege with my friends as well. And, future games that will come out, when I do have money, I do plan to get a game called Sifu, some martial arts. So if you like Asian films and martial arts and you want to see me rage and get my ass kicked in a game like that, eventually I'll have it. So please give me a follow, please talk to me in chat and all that good stuff. Yes. All right. All right, now before I close this out, I do have to say this. Please guys, whatever you are listening to us on, please give us a follow. Do comment what you guys think, or if you guys have a comment, whether you agree or disagree with us during these episodes. And please do share us with your friends. Again, a follow helps this show grow more and more. And we truly do want to expand to continue doing this show to make it bigger and to, keep sharing what we love, which is film, entertainment, and the entertainment industry in general. So please do follow us. We truly do appreciate it. Now, thank you so much to everyone that came with us on this verbal journey. Thoughts, opinions, views, and our rambling and memories of film, TV, and entertainment overall. We truly do appreciate you guys being passengers. Incredible journey that we go through for our love, and we hope that you guys did enjoy this episode and enjoyed past episodes, and hopefully continue to. We love you guys. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Stay safe, and please more like we really do hope that we inspired you to continue to love movies, the movie theaters, have given you inspiration to share your love, your thoughts and opinions on films, and to be proud of the movies that you truly love, even if others don't. Love y'all. Have a good night. Deuces.